Braves country. Hope you're having a great day. As we are getting you set here for Atlanta Braves versus Angels tonight. And this is the second of our Braves Country radios, Braves Country Today. We're doing it here on Friday, 1 p.m. So if you're listening to it later, if you want to hear it live, you want to watch it live, you got to be a member. Members only here. And there's a couple other things that are coming only for members only that they're putting together that I'm not at liberty to divulge right now, but needless to say, you're probably going to want to be involved in it because you're going to be missing out as we inch closer to the postseason. The Atlanta Braves are coming off the San Francisco Giants series, and we're gonna knock into that first, and then we're going to look at the Angels series. Now, look, off the jump, it was a very, very successful series in San Francisco. When you go out, as you can see the standings over my shoulder, when you go out into San Francisco, especially after that incredibly just gut-wrenching loss on Sunday. And I'll be honest, I thought we might come out flat. And maybe we did. Maybe that's why we only scored one run, though Blake Snell was dealing. But I thought we might come out flat Monday. I thought it actually had an opportunity there for Atlanta to possibly spiral. And that's not what this team did. And I'm very impressed by what this team did, even with the lack of leadership in the clubhouse, mainly up top, because some of the decisions that have been made over this calendar year, we won't go into all of them, but watching it night by night, listening to the broadcast night by night, how big of a disaster. And I'm not going to put it all on Snicker, but the entire staff, even in the front office, the decisions that they have made have absolutely blown up in their face. Not all of them. The move to go out and get Chris Sale was phenomenal. The move to go out and get Jorge Soler, even though he's banged up, I thought was a great move. We had somebody in here last week that talked about the Braves selling at the deadline and then tried to double down and defend it. That is like the most ludicrous statement. But I almost took the bait and went in on it, but then I said, you know what? This is probably someone who doesn't follow the game much. This is probably someone who only reads the headlines, watches the highlights, and think they know baseball and think they know Atlanta Braves baseball. The idea that the Braves sold at the deadline is ludicrous. They didn't get anything back. I mean, as far as when you're talking about selling at the deadline, you'd be getting a lot of prospects. We didn't get any prospects. We got Luke Jackson, who's kind of been a mess, but he has the arm you can use down the stretch to eat innings. And we got, I think, one of the more premier right-handed sluggers in the National League when he's on. And we started to see him come out of it. Unfortunately, he gets banged up on Wednesday night, and he's out Thursday, and it looks like he's going to be out Friday too. And what Soler said is he didn't think he would play tonight, meaning he wouldn't be even available off the bench to pinch hit. So we're down a man again. But he hoped to play either Saturday or Sunday. Okay. But if that's not realistically going to happen, put him on the IL. Because we have done this a number of times this year. A number of times. I'm thinking about with Austin Riley. I'm thinking about with some of the pitchers. We've done this a number of times where we have gone and kept guys on the bench, not stick them on the IL because they don't want to lose them. Was it Austin Riley missed 2 weeks? 2 freaking weeks sitting on the bench and never going to the IL? That was poor management. And they tried to defend it and say, well, there was no one we could really bring up. Horse hockey. You can always bring up somebody that can give you something. May not be a guy who's going to start out there, but he can pinch run, whatever. He can be a defensive replacement, whatever. And I think of specifically, there was a game that I keep going back to this, but there was a game that we lost during that stretch. There was actually 3 because I went back and looked at it, but there's one in particular that in extra innings we had nobody to pinch run for Marcell Ozuna, and it cost us the game. And if Riley had been on the IL, you could have had a number of guys playing in that position. A number of them could have came in and pinch ran. We've seen it all for the last few months. I mean, hell, they put Luke Williams in to pinch run for Ozuna late in games now. And we know that's not who you want DHing. Okay? We know that if this does not work out and the lineup goes all the way back around, we know that's not who you want DHing. We get that. But even still, you can put a Luke Williams out there. Look, if Soler goes to the IL, the first guy I'm going to go grab is Eli White for defensive replacement. And honestly, he was giving us pretty good at bats. He's not going to replace Soler, and I get it. The pushback that a lot of fans are going to say is, yeah, but we got to have him for the Philly series. Why? Because if he's not right, they're not going to send him out there anyways. And, yeah, you would love to have him for the Philadelphia series because the main thing is it's not important of how that Philadelphia series plays out. Obviously, you don't want to get swept at home, but if we lose the Philly series, it doesn't matter as far as the division's gone. They played with their food. Philly played a very, very poor stretch for the entire month of July. The Braves didn't do anything to capitalize on that. Would they go 12-17? Something ridiculous like that in the month of July. They didn't do anything to capitalize on that. I saw one guy on Twitter today. It was pretty funny because a guy clapped back on him, and he was answering one of the influencers over there about the Braves and what you can look forward to. And he had pie in the sky. He said, well, if we sweep the Angels and then sweep the Phillies, and then the following week, on the back end of the week, we go to Philadelphia, and we sweep the Phillies there and take care of the Marlins in between. I mean, excuse me, not the Marlins, the Nationals. And I forget who the team is in between that, but I have it right here. Who is it? The right before the Minnesota. But anyways, he left out the Minnesota series, but he was talking about sweeping LA, sweeping Philly, going through and then coming back and sweeping the Phillies the following week. Basically, the guy said, he goes, a team that won 12 games in the month of July all of a sudden is going to go on a 13-game winning streak. What the hell are you talking about? So anyways, that kind of stuff is just nonsensical. Yeah, in theory, there's time to catch the Phillies, but that can't be your number one priority anymore. Your number one priority is to make the playoffs. And the simplest, easiest way to get to that is to win the wild card. And when you look at the wild card, as we're looking at the numbers over my shoulder, the Braves right now, they are leading the wild card, but it's not by much. It's not like they're on cruise control. We are still sitting 4.5 games. 4.5 games behind Arizona and San Diego. Arizona and San Diego have won 9 of their last 10. They're playing great baseball when you're supposed to. Now there's an outside chance that we could catch one of them. I doubt we can catch 2, because to catch 2 teams who, first of all, are going to play each other a lot, so somebody's got to win there. To catch 2 teams with a little over 40 games left to go is asking a lot. The Braves right now, as it currently sits, assuming we play all the games, we have 41 left. And to make up what is 4 in the loss column right now, okay? 4 in the loss column. That's not necessarily achievable. Now, you hope that Arizona and San Diego, as hot as they got, that they'll also fall off. And maybe the Braves, who played really poorly right before we started this series and then had that dud on Sunday, maybe we are turning a corner. We did win 3 or 4 in San Francisco, and that's not an easy feat. So there's an argument to be made that we have turned a corner. But to have the eyeballs, people keep worrying about how many are we out in the NL East. And I think it's just because it's easier to follow. But the main thing you got to be concerned with, there are four teams on our tail right now, within reason. It's the Mets, it's the Giants, it's the Reds, it's the Cardinals. The Mets are 2 back of Atlanta. The Giants are 3.5 back. The Reds are 4, and the Cardinals are 4. Those are the 4 teams. When you're scoreboard watching, and we'll be doing it tonight, those are the 4 teams that you're worried about more than anything else. You like to see Philly lose, but not if it's at the expense of one of those other teams winning. You would like to see Arizona or San Diego lose, but not if it's at the expense of one of those other teams winning. Those are the 4 teams that we care about right now because we control our destiny through that. And if we get really hot, the rest is going to take care of itself. If we get really hot, yes, in theory, it's still in play to grab the number 4 seed. But I think that they screwed around and lost games they shouldn't have lost. They had that terrible homestand where they get swept at home by Milwaukee and really spit the bit in that entire homestand. Atlanta has got to, what was it, a 6-game losing streak because we lost 2 to Miami, 3 to Milwaukee, and then we lost the first one in the Colorado series. Bounced back on that Saturday night, and I thought, okay. And then Sunday we were cruising, and then Snicker did Snicker-type things, putting a fly ball pitcher in Coors Field with the lead, and the first sign of danger he should have gotten him out of there, but instead he didn't have anybody ready. And that is a rookie mistake to do that in Coors Field. He essentially did the same thing in San Francisco on the Game 4 loss. We were still in that game, and he brought in Jesse Chavez. I talked about it during the broadcast. He brought in Jesse Chavez, who is typically going for strikeouts, and he's a bit of a fly ball pitcher. And you're putting him in a game that's a 2-run game at the time with the runner on in scoring position. A 2-run game in the 6th. It's 2-0. You got a chance at this thing, and you go to Jesse Chavez. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. That's not the move. That's not the move. If you wanted to go to a right-hander, you need to go to someone who is typically going to try to get you some strikeouts like a Pierce Johnson. Jesse Chavez is in a game when you're in a pitcher's park. Jesse Chavez is in a game when the game's out of hand one way or the other. But he's not, when the wind is blowing at the time, it was 15 miles an hour to dead center, and it showed. And then remember the first home run that we gave up? It barely got over the wall, and that was definitely wind-aided. So that entire thing is on Snicker, or I don't care if he's getting the answers from above, if he's being told, do this. You got to have some damn common sense. Because the dorks in the analytical department don't understand certain things, and that's why you're in that chair, because you're a baseball man. You've lived these things. You're supposed to have an instinct. So you can't keep saying, well, it's out of my hands. Then why the hell are you the manager? It's the same kind of nonsense we get from politicians. Well, I can't do it. Then why the hell do you have the job? Do the damn job or get out of the way. And Brian Snicker, he's become a made man by the Braves because of the World Series championship in 2021. But he, as much as he might have helped win that World Series, I'm not going to take that away from him. I still think we won it in spite of him, but whatever. Let's just say he had a lot to do with it. If he's going to take all the glory, he's got to take all the blame. Because what happened in 2022? You came roaring back and that team was hot, and you couldn't get them motivated to play in the first round. Well, the NLDS, because they had the first round off. Same thing happens the following year against your division rival. The following year, you can't get them motivated. At some point, it's because you don't have a fire in your belly. And someone's got to light a fire under his ass or fire his ass. All right, and rant. Back to the San Francisco series. The one thing that I'll take from this is that, first of all, the first game was phenomenal. Chris Sale went out there and absolutely shoved. And I'm not taking anything away from Blake Snell either. The offense didn't do a whole hell of a lot, but at the same token, man, that was a heck of a game. That was a game. That's a game for the ages. We have archived that, by the way, and we'll be replaying it during the offseason. But 7 innings, 12 strikeouts. Jimenez came in and actually got some things done in the 8th inning. 1 strikeout, a clean inning. Looked phenomenal, which was huge. If you remember, he was the one that came in to try to clean up Luke Jackson's mess the day before. I thought that was huge to get Jimenez back on track. And then Iglesias, eyeglasses, comes in and gives 2 consecutive innings. He pitches the 9th, and then he went into extra innings and got the win. And that was that entire game realistically goes to Chris Sale. He won that game almost single-handedly. Darno hit the sac fly to score Arcia. We don't want to leave that out, but Chris Sale was the guy. The next one up is the Tuesday night game. And the Tuesday night game, it was another classic. Another one that goes into extra innings. Another one that we've archived for the postseason. That one, you had on the mound Charlie Morton, and he was shaky the entire night. But the Braves got a 3-2 lead, and after giving up those 2 runs, and he was getting smacked hard, but after giving up those 2 runs early, he goes back and really gets it together. And though they were still getting some hard hits, like he gave up 6 hits. He walked 1, but then he struck out 8. And a lot of those hits, and some of the outs were hard hits. But Charlie Morton found a way to get through it. And later in the game, Pierce Johnson gives up a run. Then that sends us to extra innings. Run was given up in the 8th. That run's given us extra innings. And remember, that was that was actually done off a wild pitch. Lamont Wade Jr. scored off a wild pitch on that one. But then the Braves go into the 10th inning, and Darno this time comes through with a single, a hard-hit single on the right side of the infield. He continues to be one of my favorite players to watch in the later innings, Darno. I don't know why, but the analytics of every team in the major leagues tells them to play Darno to pull, because that's where his power is. When he gets a hold of one, knocks it out of the park, it's normally to left field. But when Darno is just trying to move a guy over, get a guy in, he will take that huge gap on the first base side in between first and second. Second baseman is usually standing right next to the second base bag. And the first baseman has to play pretty close to first in case he has to cover it. And there's this huge gap over there, and you'll notice that he shortens his swing and steps towards there. And that's what he did there. Knocked it through, and the Braves got the go-ahead run. And then after pitching 2 innings the night before, Iglesias comes in and slams the damn door. Then we go into Wednesday's game, and Wednesday's game was a sigh of relief. It was a 13-2 laugher where the Braves were able to rest their bullpen. Only Luke Jackson and Jimmy Herget came in. Grant Holmes went 7 innings. Kudos to him. 7 innings, 6 Ks, gave up 2 runs, and the Braves pounded the Giants into submission 13-2. Olsen hit a home run. Murphy hit a home run. Riley hit a home run. Michael Harris hit a grand slam. That was his first night back. By the way, there's some idiot on Twitter and Instagram that's trying to get some, I don't know, I've never heard of the show, but I guess it's some kind of a Twitter or Instagram Brave show that was trying to drag this guy. The guy that caught the home run ball of Michael Harris out there in McCovey's Cove. He took a picture and put it on social media. Older guy, right? He's probably a Giants fan living out there in San Francisco, but nonetheless, he took the picture. He was happy. An older baseball fan, happy as hell that he got the damn ball, right? This idiot on social media was trying to tell people to go drag him because Michael Harris deserved the ball back. Why the hell does a Major League Baseball player deserve the ball back? First of all, it wasn't a milestone home run. That's first of all. It wasn't like this broke any kind of record. This wasn't like number 63 in the season. This wasn't number 756. But even if it was, why does a fan who doesn't make near the damn money that a Major League Baseball player makes, why does he deserve to have the ball back? Why? Because you're going to hand him a couple of hats? Bunch of freaks. The whole lot of them, bunch of freaks on social media. This mob mentality that they have. It's pathetic. Anyways, yeah, Charlie says it was good, his first grand slam. Whoopity-doo! Hit more. He doesn't deserve the ball. The fan caught the ball. Whoopity-doo! It's my first grand slam. All right. You don't deserve the ball. You want to buy the ball back from him. All right. But deserve him and get bullied on Twitter. Kiss it. That mob mentality, it's over. We played those stupid games and got stupid prizes for several years on social media. That is over. We're done with it. All right. Moving on. But just the person that shared it, what I told them, I said, that just makes me not to want to follow whoever the hell it is that's saying that. That makes me want to say, to hell with you, because you're out there trying to bully someone on the internet. Probably some little twerp who couldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. All right, here we go. We go to game 4, and that's the most annoying one because we lose. And it happens. We lose the game. Game 4. Look, I had a bad feeling going into that game. And if you remember the score, I was pretty much on the money all series long. I told you when there were going to be low-scoring games, told you when there were going to be high-scoring games, and I was on the money. That game, I knew the runs were going to be at an absolute premium because the Braves do not hit him well, him being Logan Webb. And the reason and when you put on top of that they were going head-to-head, not only with Logan Webb, but they had Dan Iasona behind the plate, who likes to call him low in the zone, which is where Logan Webb lives. If Logan Webb was hitting his spots, and he'll continue, and you notice throughout the game, he got a little lower until Iasona would call the ball and go, all right, I'll come back up. But that's what great pitchers do. Maddox, Glavine, all of them, they always said, hey, if you give it me an inch off the plate, I'm going to try to take the 2 inches. You give that to me, I'm going to try to go 3. I want to know how far I can go, and Iasona calls him low. I knew that was going to be a problem because Max Fried, other than his curveball, he's trying to get you, and he's trying to get you to swing at that and miss it in the dirt, not get a call to low strike. Max Fried likes to go low with the soft stuff and high in the zone with the hard stuff. Anyways, back to the so you knew going into the game that was going to be a problem. It was a problem. It was a huge problem. It was an absolutely huge problem. So when it's all said and done, we knew that we were going to have to win a low-scoring game. We lost that low-scoring game. We won 2 low-scoring games in the series. All in all, it was a very, very good series. So we win 3 out of 4. I said when we first started this road trip, this 10-game road trip, and it doesn't matter who you play, a 10-game road trip in the major leagues is always going to be tough. Well, we took 3 out of 4 in San Francisco. That's got to put pep in your step. You lost 2 of 3 Colorado. You don't love that, but you also understand the circumstances. So where are we at right now? Big picture. We've won 4 games on this road trip. We've lost 3. And I've said all along, if we could win 6, go 6-4, I would be happy with the road trip. And that 7 would be phenomenal. Anything above that would be unrealistic. Well, that's where we're at, because if we sweep the Angels, the most we can get is 7. It's still unrealistic to go into the end of a road trip and expect to sweep a major league roster. It doesn't matter that they are one of the worst teams in baseball. But if there's a team that you could do it to, it's the Los Angeles Angels. Los Angeles Angels don't score a ton of runs. Los Angeles Angels pitching is near the bottom of the league in almost every major statistic. The only good thing about the Los Angeles Angels is that we get to see, this is going to be said 150,000 times over the weekend, but we get to see Ron Washington over the weekend. And everyone's going to say, we need to bring him back. We need to bring back Ron Washington. It's like, he's not a free agent. That's not how it works. You don't just go, it's like all the other stuff that we've seen over the last few years, the nonsense. Or we need to go sign Shohei Ohtani. We need to make a trade for Shohei Ohtani. Remember that? He's not on the trade block. No, you got to go get him. Because they all believe it's a video game and they can just override the decisions of other general managers. Ron Washington loved his time here in Atlanta. Ron Washington is in no shape or form in danger of losing his job in L.A. That's the problem. Would he come back to the Braves? I'm sure he would. But he's in no danger of losing it because the Angels know that they have a trash franchise. They know that roster's terrible. So Ron Washington is there to help the young kids grow and eat some losses over the next couple of seasons, and then he'll eventually be the one shown the door. Well, Washington wanted the opportunity to not be second, third in command, and I get why he left. I think there's a lot of Braves fans that believe that Ron Washington would have been their pick to be the manager. But that's not how it works, because you don't win a World Series and then 2 years later, the guy who happened to be the third base coach takes your job because you've continued to win 100 games a season. That's just not the way they're going to do it. It's the way we would love to have seen it at the time, but come on. In the grand scheme of things, it's never going to happen. We can wish in one hand and you know what in the other, but it's never going to happen. So when you say that, you're just doing the old man yelling at the clouds. So what a lot of fans tend to forget is that there are other franchises. There are other fan bases. You're not the only fan base. You're not the only franchise. And so they're trying to win just as much as you. Kind of like the guy that caught the baseball in McCovey's Cove. It's not just Braves fans that watch baseball. That guy got to catch a damn ball. He was excited for it. Let him do what he wants with it. And honestly, Michael Harris shouldn't worry about it. He should say, that ain't going to be my last Grand Slam. That's not going to be the last time I hit one out there in McCovey's Cove. You keep every damn one of them, because I'm going to be wearing a gold jacket one day, standing up there and getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. You can keep all of them. That should be the mentality. If the shoe was on the other foot, Braves fans would be going, you're not getting it back. If Bryce Harper hit some home run, majestic home run at Truist Park, and some fan caught it, and they were trying to make a profit on it, and it was a Braves, nobody would say boo about it, because it's the fans' right. They paid for that damn seat. They have the right to that. And with that being said, when we talk about wanting Ron Washington back, I would love to have Ron Washington back. That's not going to happen. And I guarantee you, if Ron Washington came back, he doesn't want to be third base coach anymore. Ron Washington is pushing up there in the 70s. There comes a point in time you'd rather be in that damn dugout than standing on that damn field. And the main reason why we like Ron Washington is because he was aggressive, and it was fun to watch him send guys. There were a lot of times where he made really bad decisions and ran aside innings. People forget that because they always forget the bad times. Everybody always remembers with rose-colored glasses on. Nobody ever remembers the times. I specifically remember a time when he sent Max Fried on a head-first slide against Miami. I think it was 19. It might have been 2018. But he sent it a head-first slide. And this is back when we were doing the Armchair Quarterback Show. And I could remember me and the guy Justin at the time that was on the show having this long conversation about, dude, he needs to be cool with that because Fried ended up being okay, but there was a play at the plate, and the guy landed on his pitching arm. He ended up being all right somehow. I don't know how Max Fried, who's made of glass nowadays, made it through that, but everybody forgets that was Ron Washington at the third base, windmilling him. I would like to see a happy medium in from what is Ron Washington, where he sends anybody no matter what, doesn't even worry about it, goes screw it. And he got away with a lot of it because the offense was so prowess last year. The offensive prowess was so large last year that you did not have the repercussions of, man, he just ran outside of the inning. We're not going to score any more runs. The game's over. If he sent you, the difference was was between us scoring 9 runs and scoring 11 runs. This year, if you did it, the difference would be much greater. When he was unsuccessful, we'd be yelling and raising hell about it. So remember, we always remember things, and I'm just as guilty of it, but we always remember things with rose-colored glasses on it, especially if you had success. If you had success, nobody brings up the years of losing and choking in the playoffs that the Braves did in the 90s and early 2000s under Bobby Cox. And I've always felt like this was more of John Schuerholz's fault. But, they put Schuerholz in the Hall of Fame, and they make him out to be the greatest GM that's ever walked the earth down in Braves country. But Schuerholz never built you a bullpen. And that's why we lost series after series after series in the 90s and early 2000s. We always had one of the best rotations on the planet. We always had very good home run hitters on the corners, but we weren't great at producing runs. And so we won and lost a lot of 3-2 ball games back in those days. And then when you got to the playoffs, we never had the bullpen to shut down the noise. The only time our bullpen was ever elite was in 1995. And I will say 1991's bullpen was pretty darn good, but a lot of the guys just didn't have the experience at that time. So anyways, going back to it, we get out of that series, win 3 or 4. It could be a lot worse. It really could. And you look at some of the things that we come into this series, we're going to be, looking at the wild card standings right now before we jump into the Angels. One more time, we're 2 in front of the Mets. We're 3.5 in front of San Fran. We're 4 in front of Cincinnati, 4 in front of St. Louis. Those are the only 4 teams we're going to worry about their scores over the weekend. When things shuffle around, we'll worry about it then. But right now, you've got the Cubs 5.5 back, Pittsburgh 7.5 back, Washington 9.5 back. If you're not worried about the Pirates at 7.5 back, then you can't be worried about the Phillies being 7 in front of you. Because so many things would have to go your way for that to work out. The reason why I don't worry about anyone below, we'll say the St. Louis 4 games back, is because if we play so poorly that they overtake us, then what the hell are we talking about? If we play so poorly that the Pittsburgh Pirates or Washington Nationals come roaring back, then we weren't going to do squat anyways. We got to be playing really good baseball, and I do think we're going to turn a corner. I think it's also good to remember, we're going home to play Philly on Tuesday, but we get that day off and we're getting home. And hopefully this time the friendly confines will treat us much better. We also play Washington right after that. And I know Washington gave us some problems earlier this year. Washington's not playing that kind of baseball right now. Washington's playing much, much to where we expected them to be at this point in the season. The Washington Nationals, man, Pittsburgh has lost 10 in a row. I think a lot of that's gone under the radar, but that's what did Pittsburgh.
You can't drink.
The Reds have won 4 in a row. That's what have put them kind of in the conversation. I still think they're going to have to get incredibly hot, and they don't have the pitching to do it. I'm realistically worried about the Mets, and I'm worried about the Giants, because the Giants, we saw this week, they've got the ability to scratch out low-scoring runs. And in 2021, they did a lot of those down the stretch and ended up with the best record in the National League. If the Dodgers don't upset the Giants in 2021, we're playing the NLCS on the road. The Giants would have had the home field advantage. We only had the advantage against the Dodgers, which became the deciding factor in that series, because the Dodgers, even though they won over 100 games, they fell like 1 or 2 games short behind the Giants, and they got the wild card. All right, this weekend, I should say. And Charlie, it's good seeing you in the chat, by the way. I think I've failed to mention that. And look, I know these times are goofy, but that's just the way it is. If the Braves played the same time every single day then we could map it out, but it is what it is. The next one, it'll probably be Monday. I got to double check that, but it'll probably be Monday evening. Time we're more likely for people to watch. And remember, we'll be getting ready for the Philly series. All right. This series coming up with the Angels. They have announced the 3 starters for the Braves. As of right now, unless they change something, it's Schwellenbach, it's Sale, it's Morton. It is interesting. They have not announced the Game 1 starter for Philadelphia on Tuesday. They have announced Max Fried on Wednesday and Schwellenbach's on Thursday. And if you think to yourself, well, Grant Holmes, why wouldn't Grant Holmes be? I'm getting to that. Raylo is expected to be back on Tuesday. Ronaldo Lopez is expected to be back on Tuesday and ready to roll with the Philly series. They haven't made it a 100% official, but it's already been floated around, talked about it as it's almost in ink already. Right now it's in like light pencil, but they're expecting him back. The other thing is a guy that could be getting a start in the near future, who pitched phenomenal last night, had a quality start down on the farm, Ian Anderson. Ian Anderson is on his way back. I think Ian Anderson is on. He's built up his innings. He's ready to roll. He's no longer, still trying to get him stretched out or whatever. Ian Anderson is, to me, one of the most interesting pieces of this entire puzzle of this 2024 campaign. Because if Ian Anderson comes back and is pitching like the 2021 Ian Anderson, we've got something there. And you could go throw Charlie Morton back into the bullpen. And if you put Morton back in the bullpen, or I guess I could in theory go to a 6-man rotation, though I hate the idea of that. But if you throw Charlie Morton in the bullpen, then we can send some of these guys who are kind of like, ugh, this guy's coming in. Nothing against Jimmy Herget. He's actually pitched pretty well considering his stuff, but a guy like that would go down. Luke Jackson probably not because of the money, and I don't believe he has options. But it gives you more flexibility. They're probably going to continue, unless they need him, they're probably going to continue to let Ian Anderson pitch once a week down on the farm because we're only a couple of weeks away on September 1st. Remember, the rosters expand to 40. You can have 28 guys on the roster on any given day, but you have a taxi squad of 40. So 12 extra players at your disposal, and that's when we'll most definitely see Ian Anderson, assuming all health. So this weekend we got some interesting. So we got Schwellenbach on the mound Friday night, Sale on the mound Saturday night, and then Charlie Morton on for Sunday. As far as the Los Angeles Angels are concerned, they have Soriano on the mound Friday night, and Soriano doesn't have a great record. It's 3-7 or 3.36 ERA. 3.36 ERA, first of all, is not too shabby in today's baseball. Second of all, if you haven't seen this guy throw, he's a fireballer. He can load up the strikeouts. He does run into problems with his control, which leads to him, walking and putting guys on base, but he's been much better the second half of the season than the first. The first half of the season, he was all over the place. It's going to be a tough one on Friday night. The next one that you look at on Saturday night, when and with Chris Sale, you expect you're going to go out there and fire bullets, but he put a lot out there on the line on Monday, and he's not getting the extra day of rest. So we'll see how that plays out. But Chris Sale goes up against Griffin Canning. And Griffin Canning, that guy can get got to. He throws the ball hard, but I've actually watched him pitch a handful of times this year, covering other things. And Griffin Canning, 5.11 ERA, the Braves, heavy favorites to win that game. Now, they don't play the games on paper, but on paper, heavy favorites. What was the old saying? They don't play the games on paper, they play them inside your TV sets. Well, they play them inside your radio. But on paper, Chris Sale versus Canning feels like a W. Sunday, Kokonowicz versus Charlie Morton. And Charlie Morton, we know what he's been like, but he's actually been gritty. Kokonowicz, 23-year-old, I have not seen this guy throw. But he has 14 innings through 3 games, a 7.98 ERA. He's given up some runs. He's given up 13 runs in 14 innings. He's given up 20 hits. Only struck out 7. Braves ought to be able to pound this kid. He's a right-hander. So my biggest concern and fear is that we go in there and play with our food again. And we come off hey, we took 3 out of 4 from San Francisco, let's go. And then they go in and spit the bit and lose the series to the Angels. I think Friday night is the most daunting one. Now, thankfully, we got Schwellenbach on the mound. He's been really good. But the Braves have been known to play with their food, and the next thing you know, we're in a dogfight late in the game because Soriano can absolutely shove. We could end up in a low-scoring game with no Soler in the lineup. You know, we're seeing Harris. Look, Harris hit the grand slam, but he also did a couple things in those at-bats that I saw a lot right before he got on the IL. Once again, we remember those rose-colored glasses. People forget, Harris was scuffling before he went on the IL. Now, his talent is out of this world, but he was scuffling. But he's swinging at first pitches, making first pitch outs, doing the same crap that he was doing before he went on the IL. I was hoping that maybe he'd change his approach with 2 months off, able to go back on, but he probably didn't look at his stuff. He probably didn't have a coach telling him to look at his stuff. Probably just told him to get healthy. Man, we'll work in the cage. But you need to go back and look at why were you getting out? Why are you hitting at such a low average with just 5 home runs 2 months into the season? But Harris, I mean, I've always said that I thought his talent was off the charts. And look, Chipper Jones even said that when he saw him in AAA and AA, the year before he came up with the Braves, he told everybody that Harris was going to be a real deal, that Harris could be better than Acuna. He hasn't proven it yet, but he does have the ability. But he's got to mature at the plate and make him look. He needs to realize that the pitcher standing up there is a hell of a lot more concerned with Harris getting on base. And if he'll get in front of the count, that he's going to get something to groove. But he's out there swinging at the first pitch a lot because he thinks he's going to ambush something. But the pitcher, knowing that that's a terrible trait of his, is going to throw something just off the plate. Now, when he hit the grand slam, Ray was incredibly wild, so that didn't play out. But the next at bat, he lucked out. The first pitch he swung at and he popped it back foul and it fell out of play. But I noticed it then. I noticed it 2 times on Thursday. He's got to get more selective. You see something sitting dead red center cut and that's your pitch, hey, swing at it. But don't go up there saying, I'm looking for the first fastball to hit, because they're putting it just off the plate. They did it to him before he went on the IL, and if he doesn't straighten it out, it's going to be a dead spot in the zone. And I think he plays much better down in the lineup. Putting him up there as the leadoff hitter, I think, is a big, big mistake, but they'll continue to do it as long as Soler is injured. I just hope that Soler comes back this weekend, and if he doesn't, let's be honest with ourselves and put him on the IL and bring Eli White back. All right, that's it. Obviously, I'm going to take the Braves to win the series. Depending on what happens tonight, I think there's a real chance for a sweep. But the biggest key factors that you're looking at playing the Angels, if our pitching does their job, we're going to win the series, because the Angels' offense is horrific. They got a couple of guys you got to worry about. We'll go over that right before the game, but their offense is horrific and their pitching is equally as bad. But they are the home team, and they don't play the games on paper. They play them inside your radio. All right, we'll see you next time. Appreciate y'all tuning in. And once again, if you want to see this live, you need to become a Country Club member. If not, you'll see it when we post it. All right, have a great one, y'all.
Like me, you can't smoke like me. So don't try and be like me. Let's party together.
there's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Baseball is a beautiful thing. It's more beautiful in an old park. It's asymmetrical and quirky. But even in a dome with artificial turf, it's beautiful. The way the field fans out, the choreography of the sport, the pace and rhythm of it, the fact that that pace and rhythm allows for conversation and reflection and opinion and comparison.
In right field, the crowd is tormenting Strawberries, singing, Darryl, Darryl. Little roller up along first, behind the man. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win.
And there's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series. Aaron Boone.
Ground ball stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first for the first time in 86 years. The Red Sox have won baseball world championship. Can you believe it?
It's a pastime, something you do. It's entertainment, something you watch. And it's a shared experience, something you talk about and read about. But you can apply those same three criteria to other things. What makes baseball special is that it's the best game that's ever been devised.
Smith corks one into right, down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
Sure as God made green apples, someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. Cubs win. What a lucky break. The good Lord wants the Cubs to win.
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
If baseball is about caring, about loyalty and rivalry.
Braves fans are on their feet hoping for some kind of a bleeder or a seeing-eye single. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball hit high and deep down the right field line. It's going back, back, back. Is it fair? Is it zip, boom, bam, it's gone. Ram-a-lam-a ding dong, a 3-run shot, and your Atlanta Braves have taken a 1-run lead. She's gone, baby!
There's a very peaceful thing. It was created and played in pastures and meadows. There's grass, there's outdoors, there's everything that people thought was American and feel about America. You get in a ballpark. And it's the wonder of walking through that dark tunnel and seeing a huge open space where men play the little boy's game.
I believe in the Church of Baseball. I've tried all the major religions and most of the minor ones. I know things. For instance, there are 108 beads in a Catholic rosary and there are 108 stitches in a baseball. I prefer metaphysics to theology. You see, there's no guilt in baseball, and it's never boring. It's a long season and you gotta trust it. I've tried them all, I really have. And the only church that truly feeds the soul day in, day out is the Church of Baseball.
Swung line drive left field. 1 run is in. Here comes Reed. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe.
You're in Braves country.
If there's a bigger thing going on right now, I don't know what it is. We're down to 1 strike here. Gurriel, the last hope for the Houston Astros. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, bounced over to Dansby. Dansby fires it over to first, and here comes the dog pile. Fire the cannons in the battery. Do the chop all throughout Braves country. Pop that top. Your Atlanta Braves have won it all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose white stripes and bright stars through the perilous
On a beer? 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. You're listening live, and the scene is Angel Stadium, Anaheim, California, where we're set to bring you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Here are your starting lineups for today's action. Leading off and patrolling center field for your Atlanta Braves, it's Michael Harris II. 6 home runs, 25 RBI, 8 stolen bases, batting .249. Austin Riley batting second, playing third. 19 home runs, 56 RBI, batting .260. Marcell Ozuna is batting third and your designated hitter. 35 home runs, 90 RBI, batting .298. Batting cleanup and playing first, it's Matt Olson. 21 home runs, 62 RBI, batting .230. Sean Murphy is behind home plate and batting fifth. 7 home runs, 15 RBI, batting .226. Orlando Arcia batting sixth and playing short. 11 home runs, 34 RBI, batting .228. In left field, Kid Kelnick. 13 home runs, 36 RBI, 6 stolen bases, batting .236. And in right, batting eighth, it's Ramon Laureano. 5 home runs, 13 RBI, 4 stolen bases, batting .213. Batting ninth, playing second, it's the Ice Cream Man, Whit Merrifield. Merry-Go-Round has 3 home runs, 12 RBI, 14 stolen bases, batting .210, and a .250 clip since joining the Atlanta Braves. Jorge Soler is out of the lineup tonight and is not expected to be available off the bench. He did say that he hopes to possibly be available on the weekend and felt much better the day after the injury. On the mound for your Atlanta Braves tonight, it's Spencer Schwellenbach Day. Spencer has a 4-5 record, a 3.95 ERA, and a swell of a whip at 1.06. 70 innings pitched, 77 strikeouts, just 12 walks, 63 hits allowed, and 9 home runs served. He'll be going head-to-head with Jose Soriano. Soriano is 6-7 with a 3.36 ERA. A 1.19 whip, 109 innings pitched, 88 hits, 92 strikeouts, 42 walks, and 8 home runs served. Backing up Soriano in the bottom of the first inning and playing left field, it's Taylor Ward. 234 average, 16 home runs, 56 RBI, 3 stolen bases. Zach Neto batting second, playing short. A 266 clip with 17 home runs, 61 RBI, 22 stolen bases. Chanel is in, batting third, playing first, Nick Shanuel. 12 home runs, 41 RBI, 4 stolen bases, batting .244. Batting cleanup, the designated hitter, Nico Cavadas. Nico is making his major league debut, the 25-year-old, in 2024 in the minor leagues. On 2 levels, has 19 home runs, 67 RBI, and a .264 average. Batting fifth behind home plate, Logan O'Hoppe. The rookie has 16 home runs, 46 RBI, 2 stolen bases, batting .256. Batting sixth, playing third, Anthony Rendon. He's got a .234 average, 6 RBI, 5 stolen bases, no home runs, 153 at-bats. Big Moniak is in right field and batting seventh. 6 home runs, 35 RBI, 6 stolen bases, batting .223. Joe Adell is in center field, 18 home runs, 54 RBI, 14 stolen bases, batting eighth with a .203 average. And Stefanik is at second and batting ninth. 5 RBIs, a .281 average, and 64 at-bats this year. Calling balls and strikes behind home plate tonight, it's Charlie Ramos. First base will be manned by John Libka. Second base umpire tonight is Rob Drake, and down the third base line, it's James Hoy. Game time temperatures tonight are expected to be 82 degrees at first pitch. The wind blowing out to left center field at 7 to 8 miles an hour. Your Atlanta Braves come in 7 games over 500, 64 and 57 on the year. The Los Angeles Angels are 52 and 69. Atlanta comes in minus 165 on the money line. The over-under 8.5. Very small sample size for the few folks who have actually faced Soriano in the Braves lineup tonight. No one in the Angels lineup has ever seen Schwellenbach. We're going to go with our pick to click, Austin Riley, And the Braves win a low-scoring one. Pretty good pitching matchup tonight. Give me the Braves to win this one 5-1. We'd like to thank all the Country Club members for helping support the channel. Please become a Country Club member today. And if you haven't already, smash that like and subscribe to Braves Country Radio. Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. It's Braves Halos Game 1 of a 3-game set. Tonight at 9:38 Eastern, first pitch. Tomorrow night, 9:38 Eastern, first pitch. Sunday's game is 4:07. Then we head back home to Truist Park for a day off and a 3-game series with the Philadelphia Phillies. The Braves are currently 4-3 on this road trip. Winning this series would go a long way to punching their ticket to October. We've got the Schwell of a K emoji for you Country Club members in the chat, ready to roll as we say hello to a couple of old friends, Eric Young and the skipper of the Angels, Ron Washington. We check pregame, and you're not allowed to trade managers. So warm up those chop arms, Country Club, in Braves Country. Get your game face on. It's Schwellenbach Day. Good evening, Braves Country. Atlanta Braves, Los Angeles Angels. Angels are wearing their home reds, white pants. Braves in the road grays, and we are just about set. Soriano comes set. Yes, sir. It is baseball time in Braves Country. First pitch on the way is a fastball to Michael Harris, the second on the outer edge. Misses 100 miles an hour. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Righty, lefty. Kicks and fires. Swing, chops it foul down the line. Sinker, 99 miles an hour. Not really a sinker, even though that's what they're calling it. It's really more of a two-seam fastball. And he throws that and the four-seam at about 60% of the time. There's not much difference. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Knuckle curve over the top. 1-2. It's a sharp knuckle curve that he throws. You'll see that about 26% of the time. The 1-2. Soriano lifts his glove and fires it. Swing, chops it foul off the plate. Do it again. He's got 5 pitches. 3 that you'll see heavily. The sinker, the curve, and the four seam. He will sprinkle in a split and a slider to keep you honest. The 1-2. Soriano brings it. Swing. That ball's hit high and deep down the right field line, but just foul. Michael Harris is second turning on that one. Just couldn't keep it straight. It is Players Weekend, so you'll see different gear that they'll be wearing if you're following along with the video, the 1-2, in the dirt 2-2. They can wear their own customized bats and shoes, and a lot of them do it for their charities. So that's what you'll be seeing all weekend throughout Major League Baseball. The 2-2 pitch. Swing, slices that foul down the line, 99 miles an hour. We'll do it again. You got to figure at some point he's going to see that knuckle curve again. The swing and a miss that he got on that knuckle curve, that thing takes a sharp dive at the plate. The 2-2. Ohapi sends the sign. Comes straight, brings it. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Sinker got him 100 miles an hour. 1 away. 1 down. That'll bring Austin Riley to the plate. Riley versus Soriano, a righty-righty matchup. First pitch from Soriano, lifts his red glove, brings it. Swing! That ball's popped back foul, 101 on the outer edge. It's 0-1. This Soriano, man, he can bring. He started out his career in the bullpen. Probably shouldn't shock anybody. The 0-1. Soriano looks in to Ohapi. Ohapi sets up inside the pitch. Swing, chops it foul down the left field line. 0-2. So once again, those are his three main pitches you'll see. The sinker and the four-seamer both come in about right at 99, 100 miles an hour. Just a little bit of different movement. And then the curve, the knuckle curve, is the one that he tries to get you out on. Caught, looking, strike three. Threw an 88-mile-an-hour knuckle curve in, 2 away. Soriano, beginning of the year, really had some hard luck, but folks kept talking about how good his stuff was, and he's really straightened it out. And he's one of the few bright spots on this Los Angeles Angels team. When I saw we had to face him, I kind of cringed. Marcell Ozuna, man, if he can get a hold of 100-mile-an-hour, look out. First pitch, swing and a miss, sinker over the top, it's 0-1. We'll do roll call here in a little bit. The 0-1. Game first pitch was 9:38. We mistimed it by a couple of minutes, so we'll do it in a second. The 0-1 outside wide, 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Braves nothing, Angels nothing. Just getting going here in the top of the first. 2 outs, the 1-1 from Soriano. In the dirt, ball gets away. No one on base, so it goes to the backstop. Ball boy will get it. The 2-1. I equate this to the first time you see a team's closer. He's got powerful stuff, but the second time through, you should get a better handle on it. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, sinker over the top once again. He's hit that 99-mile-an-hour sinker just under his hands 2 times in this bat. Now we got a 2-2 count. The good news of this, the Braves have made him throw 15 pitches, which is about what you want a starting pitcher to average. So if they get an inning where they really accelerate it, they might be able to get him out of the game. The 2-2 from Soriano. Swung on, chopped foul. Triple digits once again. Down the third base side. 3-game series out here in Los Angeles facing Ron Washington, Eric Young, and their Angels. The 2-2. Soriano comes set. Got to be looking for that sinker, right? The 2-2. Swing, chops it over towards short. That'll be an easy play for Nito. 6-3 put out, and that'll end the inning. Braves do work the counts a little bit, so you like to see that, but nothing on the board. We head to the bottom of the first.
Interesting facts about me. I was born on my birthday. I don't tell everybody this, but I'm also naked under my clothes.
Spring training, the precursor to the regular season. Here's the history of spring training. The first baseball team to host spring training outside of their home field was the New York Mutuals when they traveled to New Orleans in 1869. Aside from New Orleans, teams would also train in Washington, D.C., Georgia, and Cape May in New Jersey. Originally, not all teams participated in spring training. One manager argued that players would be more susceptible to injuries and colds when they returned to their colder home climates. The birthplace of spring training baseball can be traced back to Hot Springs, Arkansas, where the first major league teams would visit before the season started. Babe Ruth's first time playing any position other than pitcher occurred in a spring training game on St. Patrick's Day in 1918. The first time the phrase pitchers and catchers report was used was in an article in the Sporting News in 1924. After World War II, both the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Yankees trained outside of the United States in the Dominican Republic and Cuba. The Grapefruit League got its name after an aviator named Ruth Law was supposed to drop a baseball 500 feet out of her plane for the Brooklyn Dodgers manager Wilbert Robinson to catch, but instead used a grapefruit because she forgot the ball. Usually the team with the best record in spring training doesn't go on to win the whole thing, but it has happened. Both the 2009 Yankees and the 2018 Boston Red Sox won both the Grapefruit League and the World Series in the same year.
So it wasn't just Canseco, and so one of the reasons that I thought that it was an important subject was it was spreading. It was already spreading by 1988.
The sports writer Tom Boswell tried to raise the issue, but no one paid attention. Soon, other players, including some of Canseco's Oakland teammates, were asking him for advice, following his training program.
We began seeing these enormous bodies like we'd never seen before. And, when you saw some guys take off their shirts, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what's going on here?
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Ron, the Soriano you're asking about with the use pitch for the Braves, that was about 15 years ago. He's got to be mid to late 40s by now. First pitch on this kid's 25 years old. This is just his second year of the majors. First pitch to Taylor Ward was fouled back out of play. It's 0-1. Righty-righty matchup. Schwellenbach brings it. Swing and a miss up top. 95. 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Pitch on the way. Down below the knees. 1-2. Braves nothing, Angels nothing. The 1-2 pitch swung on, banged on the ground, over to short. Easily made by Arcia. 6-3 put out, one away. I see it now. Envy, Charlie, whichever one you're going by today. We used to have a birthday, but I don't see it. So here we go. Happy birthday, Nick. 21 years old tonight. Get rowdy, baby. I wish I knew where that one clip was that was talking about the guy with the guy with his 21st birthday where he couldn't walk. And he's saying that he thinks it's still what's wrong with him today. First pitch on the way to Nito is inside for a strike at 0-1. Righty, the 0-1. Swing and a miss over the top. It's 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Nito batting .266 on the year. 17 home runs, 61 RBI. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Schwellenbach got him. 2 away. Really is becoming one of my favorite days in the Braves calendar, Schwellenbach Day. I really like watching this kid pitch. Good to see you, 4-putt. If I thought we had time, we'd start the roll call, but something tells me Schwellenbach's in a groove. First pitch on the way, 97 on the outer black. Kisses the side, it's 0-1. The 0-1. Lets her rip. Misses wide, 1-1. 4-putt, you got a son who's 21 years old? Your avatar doesn't look a day over 30, buddy. The 1-1. That pitch misses well outside, 2-1. So a 2-1 count. Pitch on the way. Going with that splitter way outside wide, nowhere near it. Ball 3, 3-1. The 3-1. Swing, chops it over towards second. The ice creams man's got it, flips it over to the ice house, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the top of the second. 0-0 in Los Angeles.
I'm trying to stay out of trouble, but trouble just find the out of me. Trouble just find the out of me.
So look, right? Every time I post on Twitter that I'm a man that pays all the bills, which I don't do too often, I ain't gonna lie, because I ain't trying to attract the wrong type of woman. But every time I post about it, there's always women that ask, how do I get me a man that will do this? So ladies, today I'm here to tell you how you can get yourself a man that will pay all the bills. You can't! Well, like, look, not you. Probably you, like, that y'all bitches be posting. See, this is where y'all girls mess up at. Every time I post that and y'all be like, oh my God, how do I get me one of these? You ain't ever gonna get that. Because you ain't looking for a man, you looking for help. And if you looking in my direction for that,
Get somebody else to do it.
with the way y'all be begging on the internet, I don't know if y'all are online panhandling. Y'all all talking, oh my God, my bills, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do that? Like, bro, every time I see y'all come across my timeline, I'll be like, right, we all got bills to pay.
Hey, I want to learn how to bait a hook so that way I can catch fish.
Nice. I mean, you got to be a beginner baiter at some point.
What? No, I don't want to be a beginner baiter. I want to be a master baiter.
What? That's not what it's called.
Yeah, it is, and I'll prove it to you. Siri, show me how to master bait.
No, don't Google that. Oh, my God.
Either I'm going to be quiet or I'm going to take it too far. There really is no in between.
Get this bus moving. Stop. Come back. Too late.
Roll call! Yeah, roll call!
You're in Braves country.
Time for roll call. Good evening, Country Club members. We've got the GOAT, Charlie Pittman, Brian Andrews. Who else do we have here in the Country Club? We've got Envy, JC. First pitch on the way to Matt Olson's right down the pipe. First strike, it's on. Thought I saw Brian Andrews. I might have already said Brian Andrews. Trying to do three things at once. The 0-1 to Olson. We'll get the rest in here in a second. Swing. Slice it foul out of play. 0-2. Good evening, 4-putt, John Yelton. 4-putt's son, 21 years old, not named Nick. I don't know. I was going off of what Envy put in the chat. The 0-2. In the dirt, hits him in the foot, and that'll put us a runner on base. Thankfully, it was his off-speed stuff. My God, I would hate to see anyone hitting the foot just below the ankle with his sinker. Still hit him with the clocking at 92. Looked like he hit the side of his foot on the outer edge. I think he might have gotten lucky and just barely nicked him. On the replay, it looks like it hit the ball and his foot at the same time, so it might have taken a little bit off of it. Good evening, Mark. First pitch on the way to Murphy is down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. They're still doing that thing where they got the slowest people on the planet hitting 4, 5, and 6. So Icehouse is on first. Smurf is at the plate, and Arcia's in the hole. The 1-0. A little bit inside, but called for a strike, 1-1. See what else do we have here? 1-1 count. Comes set. Lets her go. 97 down below the knees, 2-1. Coven. You put 20 on the Braves. Good luck, Coven. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's all I see. If we missed anybody, some of them might have gotten zapped out. Just put it back in. The 2-1. Knuckle curve on the outer edge, 2-2. So a 2-2 count. I also said John twice. If we can say John twice, we can say Brian Andrews twice. The 2-2, down below the knees, 2-2. Every time we say your name, John, we say it twice. So a full count. Well, I used to jot them down pregame, but I just don't have time to do it, so I just kind of scroll and rattle them. The 3-2, down below the knees, ball 4. How about that? We got runners on first and second. Nobody out. Orlando Arcia coming to the plate. Soriano 26 pitches in. What you'd really like to see him is eat some pitches here, but we know RC likes to swing early and often. First pitch to Orlando, swung on, chopped over. It's going to be a double play because that's what he's actually going to beat it out at first. Slow developing, and I don't know why, but we got gifted that one. I don't know why, but Nito, the shortstop, flipped it to third. I feel like if he flips it to second, he's going to get a double play. He took what he looked upon was the most important out the first one, but I think he probably turns a double play. So we might have gotten gifted that one. We know how slow Arcia is. Maybe Nito's not aware. Maybe he just assumes shortstops all run fast, but he does not. He defies all logic. First pitch on the way to Kelenic is outside wide. It's 1-0. Now, the good thing now that you got Kelenic up there, unless they go third to second, it's going to be more difficult to turn two because Kelenic's got good speed and batting from the left side. He'll be hard to double up. Infield is back and to the right, the 1-0. Swing, chops it foul. 1-1. So a 1-1 count. Braves nothing, Angels nothing. Top of the second inning, first and second. One down. The 1-1 to Kid Kelenic, 13 home runs on the year. The pitch, outside wide, 98 miles an hour. Tried to get a rollover on that sinker, 2-1. Standing on deck is the Ramones. Ramon Laureano. In the hole is merry-go-round, Whit Merrifield. Kelenic's going to take his timeout real quick. Back in the box, the pitch. In the dirt, ball gets away, and that's going to be just enough to get the two slowest guys on the planet from first to second to third, and the double play is no mas. How about that? The ball didn't get away from Hoppy all that far, but it bounced and then rolled off the umpire and back behind O'Hoppy. By the time he located it, the runners were in motion. So maybe a bit of good fortune. Now a base hit could score two. Excuse me. The 3-1. Outside wide. Did he go around? Didn't look like it. Did he call that a strike? Wow. Kelenic kind of shrugs it off. He was heading down to first. Looking at that replay. I don't know about that. Snicker really doesn't know about that. He's not watching. The payoff pitch, swing and a miss, strike three. Chase that one in the dirt. 2 away. Two down. Ramon Laureano coming to the plate. First pitch to Laureano is inside, almost gets him. It's 1-0. Standing on deck is Whit Merrifield. Laureano batting .213 with a .650 OPS, but he's been hitting the ball in the screws lately. The 1-0. Up top for a strike, knuckle curve. They call that a knuckle curve, man. That thing really is more, as hard as he throws that at 88, I have a hard time calling that a knuckle curve. It's really more like a high splitter. The 1-1 in the dirt, sinker misses, 2-1. So a 2-1 count. When you throw 100, you could almost call that thing a changeup, but it's definitely not a knuckle curve. The 2-1 kicks and fires in the dirt, 3-1. So a 3-1 count. Soriano, 37 pitches in. Nothing else. They're running that pitch count up, which is what you want. Angels bullpen, we'll get into that in a second, but it's one of the worst in baseball. The 3-1. Swing. Pops it back foul. Might have chased ball 4 a bit off the plate. Now we got a full count. Braves nothing, Angels nothing. The payoff pitch brings it. Swing, chops it over towards third. It's going to be a tough play, but I think he's going to get him. Bad throw. Barely held the bag. Man, oh man alive. Was that an impressive hold by Chanel? And that'll end the inning, I think. Snickers wanting to see 1 second. All right, they're not going to challenge it. He must have been out. We'll be back in a flash. Bottom of the second we go, tied at 0.
Out of all my body parts, my eyeballs are the strongest because I roll them like 342 times a day.
You see this? He can't hit, he can't run, and he should have been born a girl. The only way he can catch a ball is if it hits him directly in the mouth. And yet, he shows up week after week just like a cold sore. If he can try, you can try. Now get out there and act like there's something in those jock straps.
Happy day to everyone except people that insist on putting loose change on top of dollar bills in your receipt in your hand. Like, don't do that. Change first.
In the wake of drug scandals that had rocked the game in the 1980s, Commissioner Fay Vincent was more concerned with preventing cocaine and marijuana abuse. And the powerful Major League Baseball Players Association, now led by Donald Fear, was vehemently opposed to any mandatory steroid screening program as a violation of their members' right to privacy. As a result, professional baseball players were free to take whatever they wanted, with no fear of punishment.
The notion that we would willingly surrender to our employer as the price of a job all the protections we insist on from the government is a rather extraordinary notion.
The Players Association did a horrible job in this case. They should have seen this early on and said, wait a minute, how can we expect some of our players to compete at a competitive disadvantage or force them to make the horrible choice of running whatever risks there may be to their health or their reputations or whatever it may be to either use to keep up or don't use and inevitably fall behind? Who is it that we represent? The guilty or the innocent?
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. I don't see the side view, but I do see the front view. It looked like the first baseman Chanel. Oh, I don't know about that. If there was a view behind first base to the side, I think he might have been off the bag. Problem is, I don't think it would have gotten overturned. First pitch on the way to the cleanup hitter, Cavadas, swung on and fouled it into left, caught for an out by Kelnick, one away. Was going to introduce the guy. It was his very first at bat in the major leagues. He must have come up in the Braves organization. He's first pitch swinging. Logan O'Hoppe comes to the plate, first pitch, swing and a miss, over the top, it's 0-1. O'Hoppe, one of the bright young stars on this team. Los Angeles Angels catcher has 16 home runs, 46 RBIs. He bangs the 0-1 off the plate, 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Righty brings it. Down below the knees, 1-2. The 1-2 misses down, 2-2. So a 2-2 count. Pitch on the way, swing, fouls it straight back. Do it again. John, I don't know if the chat's moving so quickly, I'm not sure you're talking about. If it's Michael Harris, he's a 284 lifetime hitter, not 250. The 2-2 misses up high and out of the zone, full count. So a full count. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss, strike three. Got him with the curveball, 2 away. Nice pitch. He just pulled the string on that one. 2 down. Schwellenbach, 21st pitch of the night. Hits the slider on the outer edge to Anthony Rendon. It's 0-1. I had to do a double take when I saw Anthony Rendon's stats. Rendon is the 0-1. Swung on, chopped foul. 0-2. I hate to say this because you almost feel like you're going to jinx it, but like the great Yankee broadcaster John Sterling once said, if I had that much power, I'm severely underpaid. He's got 153 at-bats this season. No home runs, and an OPS of 589. This is an Anthony Rendon that you couldn't get out in the 2019 World Series. And you remember the Angels signed him to a huge contract. The 0-2. Swung on, foul back out of play. We'll do it again. He signed in 2020 a 7-year, $245 million deal. And he's been injured. I think we bailed him out. 0-2 pitch hits him. And he'll head on down to first with 2 outs. But back to the whole thing. I mean, you're averaging paying him between $35 and $38 million every year till 2026. And Rendon has turned into quite the drama queen. In fact, he was shaking his right hand and flipping it around, but he got hit in the left shoulder. So I don't even know what that's about. It might have skidded off his back arm. Maybe that's what he's doing. But he's also the one that when he came, if y'all remember the clip we played early in the season, as the first pitch is bang foul down the first base line, so 0-1. He, at the very first day of spring training, he was telling the reporters how he didn't want to be there, how that wasn't his idea of fun being at work at 6 a.m. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. I think we still have it in a clip somewhere, but someone reacts to it, and it was Michelle Beadle, and she's like, read the room. You're making all this money. You're terrible. You're talking about how you don't want to be there. The 0-2. In the dirt, 1-2. 1-2 count. Yeah, exactly, Mark. Like everyone wants to complain about Arcia. He's putting bigger numbers than Rendon, and they're paying him anywhere between 35 to 38 a year till 2026. The 1-2 swing. That ball's hammered into center field. Coming over, making the running catch is Michael the Hawk Harris. 75% of the world is covered by water, the rest by the Hawk.
Be like, men can get pregnant and have periods too, and don't you dare say otherwise. And another thing, until a man can get pregnant and carry a baby, I don't want to hear his opinion on abortion.
So everybody says if you take the coordinates to the Miami Mall and you reverse them, it'll put you in Antarctica.
Yeah, it's a grid system, dude. Latitude, longitude. It's a grid system. Yeah, that's how it works.
So all this talk of portals and stuff opening up, right? You change the north to east and change the west to south. That's it. It puts you right in Antarctica. Isn't that crazy?
Except it isn't, dude. It isn't. Have you ever seen a graph? It's not that crazy. I want to be an idiot. I want to be dumb, dude. Because you got to be dumb to just... Oh, somebody told me if you mix these numbers, then that's a portal to another. No further questions.
Now watch this. Watch what happens when I change the south and the east to north and west. Look where it puts me in.
Is it putting you on the other side of the graph, dude? Are you going to the other side of the graph?
Now, what are the odds of that?
It is a grid system. The odds are pretty good, dude. Have you never seen a graph? You can go up, you can go down, you can go left and right. What are you not getting about this? I wish I was an idiot, dude. Your life seems simple and great, and I'm envious.
Y'all, I recently realized that it's really important for me to get out of the house every once in a while to remind myself why I don't go out.
You suffer a shocking loss, and you think it's never going to be the same again. And you're thinking, I'm not going to another game. I'm not going to pay the prices that go into the players' pockets and into management's wallets. I'm not going to do it. I'm sick of all of them. And then Ripken comes along.
Welcome back. Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way. DeWitt Merrifield is down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. Soriano just threw his 40th pitch of the night. We just start in the third inning. The 1-0. Whoa, inside almost gets him. 2-0. Knuckle curve bends in. Merrifield is able to spin around. So a 2-0 count. Comes set, the kick on the way. 97 inside, just misses. Ball 3-0. Talked about this last night, but Whit Merrifield, he's hitting about 250 now since he came over to the Braves from Philadelphia, where he was hitting 199. So he's actually hitting pretty well for himself. The 3-0. Misses high, ball 4. And that's what you want. Hopefully by tomorrow night, they're hoping, or Sunday, Jorge Soler will be back and this lineup gets a little, even just a little longer. Now with Harris back in the action. Y'all are asking about Kelnick. He is under contract until 2028. He'll be arbitration eligible the next 4 years. So it's going to come down to how he does. So he'll make a little more than the league minimum, but he hasn't had a great year this year, so I don't think it's going to be a huge jump. They were trying to project it midway through the season, but that's when he was doing really well. So I think all bets are off. I think you have to wait till the end of the season to see. Ron Washington's going out there to talk to Soriano. He's like, man, don't let Brian Snicker beat me. You know how embarrassing that's going to be? That dude's nodding off in the dugout, man. Everybody in Braves country, we all miss Ron Washington, but he gone. I don't think we'll ever see him. We might see him maybe working up top when it's all said and done. Got to realize he's getting long in the tooth. At some point, he might want a job back with the Braves, but he may not want to be on the field. I bet he'll still be out there fielding grounders till he's 80. First pitch on the way to Michael Harris. The second one on, nobody out. Pitch down below the knee. Sinker misses. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Real quick on the out-of-town scoreboard. Mets pound the Marlins 7-3, and the Nationals came back and tied the Phillies and then lost it in the ninth 3-2. The 2-0 right down the pipe, 2-1. But once again, the Phillies bullpen, they are having some big-time problems. The 2-1. Soriano flips it back over to first. Keep Merrifield close by. Rays beat the Diamondbacks 5-4, so that's good for Braves country. One of the teams we're trying to catch in the standings. Mets win, Phillies win, so we can't gain any ground, only lose in that capacity. The 2-1. Swing. Hammers it down the first base line, but foul, 2-2. Paul Skeens and the Pirates get off the schneid. They beat the Mariners 5-3. Beating Logan Gilbert. Really good game. It was well pitched. I watched it. Watched about the first 4 innings getting ready. The 2-2. Swing, pops it back. Foul, splitter, up high and away. We'll do it again. Cubs walked off the Blue Jays in extras at Wrigley Field this afternoon at the friendly confines. Kansas City, 7-1 winners over Cincinnati. The 2-2. Swing, just got a piece of that, stay alive. Full count. So once again, Soriano really having to work here. He's about to throw his 50th pitch. The Dodgers lead the Cardinals. That's good news for Braves country. Rockies are leading the Padres. That's also beneficial for the top wild card positions. The 2-2. Swing, dribbles it over to first. It's going to be an attempt at a double play, and they'll get him. Wow. That was a quick turned 3-6-1 double play. I did not think they were going to get Harris on that. He's probably being told don't go all out and blow that hamstring out again. But that was a pretty quick turn nonetheless. Looking at the replay, he was busting it out of the box. That was just a really good defensive turn. So 2 down. Braves ranked 12th in baseball on double plays. That probably just creeped up a little bit. First pitch on the way, 12th most double plays. First pitch on the way to Riley is up top and outside for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 swung on, chopped foul, 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Braves nothing, Angels nothing. The 0-2. Soriano kicks and fires. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Riley down on strikes. That'll end the inning. So after the double play, it's a 1-2-3 and keeps his pitch count down. We head to the bottom of the inning, scoreless in L.A.
Hey, so to the guys that go to the gym every day for no reason at all, why?
Dad, teacher said we could be anything we wanted to be.
She wasn't talking to you, son. Go in the backyard and practice digging some holes.
While we all know the Muffin Man from the world-famous nursery rhyme, many don't know that it is based on a harrowing true story. Between 1589 and 1598, a man known as Frederick Thomas Linwood resided on Drury Lane in Victorian London. During his daily deliveries, he would lure children away from their homes by tying none other than, you guessed it, a muffin to a string, making him one of the first documented serial killers in history. As a result of Linwood terrorizing the streets of London, the nursery rhyme we all know today was created as a way to keep kids safe and raise awareness, and now is a prominent nursery rhyme that many don't know the dark origins behind.
Armchair.
Damn it, are you eating my egg?
Well, yeah, I got hungry. We never got our fish and chips.
That was the only one in the nest.
Nest? What? Where'd you get this egg? And why are you going around stealing eggs from nests and trees?
Well, it wasn't in a tree, it was in a hole. Yeah, I mean, it's like a rat's egg or something.
As he approached the record, Ripken quietly waged a solitary campaign to refill half-empty ballparks, one fan at a time.
He truly acted like an adult after the strike and saw what he could bring to the game in 1995, even at an enormous cost to himself. Signing autographs for hours and hours. I remember one night when, we came back up from interviewing and finished our stories. It's midnight now, and you look out, and there's still a line going all the way back up into the stands, and Cal is still signing autographs.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way. 95 on the outer edge for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Fastball on the outer edge, 0-2. I think we got spam in here. Someone's bragging about watching the WNBA. I'm just messing with you, Chuck. The 0-2. Outside wide, 1-2. The 1-2 from Schwellenbach. Nasty slider down and away. Good take by Joe Odell. 2-2. Joe Odell, 16-game on-base streak ended Wednesday. Joe Odell at one point was the number one prospect in baseball. The 2-2. Swung on, chopped foul. Never thought in a million years he would be batting 8th in the Angels order, especially one that no longer has Ohtani or Mike Trout. Mike Trout is out for the season. I know that's a shocker once again. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. One away. Joe Odell, he's still a young man, just 25 years old, from Shelby, North Carolina. There was rumors at one point when he was really struggling before the Braves did what they've done over the last couple of years of the Braves going after Joe Odell because he's from Braves country. 25 years old, 6'3". He was the 10th overall pick by the Angels in 2017 out of Ballard in Louisville, Kentucky, Ballard High School. Swing and a miss by Stefanik to start the count. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Fastball right down the pipe on the outer edge. It's 0-2. He was the number one prospect in baseball and kind of hovered there for about a year and a half, and just has never really put it together. He's a lifetime .210 hitter, 36 home runs, but that's over several years. The 0-2, down and away, 1-2. He cracked into the league in the pandemic season of 2020. So all in all, this is his, fifth season? 35, 36 home runs. The 1-2. Caught! Looking strike three. He got caught watching the paint dry. Four-seam at the knees, 2 away. So Schwellenbach really going out there pitching well. Man, was that a pee at the knees. 98 miles an hour. Schwellenbach, who's expanded his repertoire to 6 different pitches. First one on the way to Ward, the leadoff hitter. Misses outside, down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. Ward 0 for 1 on the day. The 1-0. Swing and a miss, curveball. 1-1. He throws a four-seam, a slider, a cut, a curve, and a splitter. All 5 of those pretty close to each other as far as percentage-wise. The four-seam and the slider a little more. And just to keep you honest, he does have a sinker that he'll toss in there about 5% of the time. The 2-1, swung on. That ball is going to get dropped into right field, and it's a 2-out single for the Halos. Laureano picks it up and flips it back in. That ball just on the end of the bat there just dumped into the outfield. 2 down, 1 on. Shortstop Zach Nito, 23-year-old right-handed bat, takes a swing and a miss at the first pitch. Slider down and away. It's 0-1. He's from Miami, Florida. Played his college ball at Campbell, though, in North Carolina. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, curveball, 0-2. So an 0-2 count. He was the first-round pick of the Angels back in 2022. The Angels, in theory, should be loaded. They should be a team that rebuilt as quickly as the Astros did, but they've just done a terrible job in their draft. So many of their draft picks have just not performed. Remember when the Astros went in the tank for a few years and came back out with all these big stars? That was kind of the Angels' game plan, the 0-2 and the dirt, 1-2. So a 1-2 count. Schwellenbach comes set. Brings it. Curveball down and away, evens up the count. The 2-2. Swung on and grounded over to the third. Riley has to charge, fires it across the diamond, and it's a 5-3 putout to end the inning. Angels get one on, but Schwellenbach stifles them. We'll be back in a flash.
Can someone explain to me how 2 + 2 and 2 × 2 equal 4? Like they both, like what's the point in multiplication if it just means the same thing? Like,
what do you call when you can't drink milk?
Lactose intolerant.
Lactose and what?
Lactose intolerant. That's when you can't drink milk and stuff. That's how you say it.
Hey, Braves Country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
I just want to be clear. You're upset because we made friends with your cat?
You're unreasonable people. You're holding our cat. Go in your yard and say, go home. Don't come in our yard anymore.
She
They
will
want
not
you
listen.
to-
She's a cat. She doesn't speak English. It's a cat, dude.
Really? Okay. All right. Well, we'll have the police department figure it out.
Absolutely. Great idea.
All right, you cat pervert.
I've done nothing to bring the cat. I've done nothing to bring the...
On September 6th, 1995, 5 months after the strike had ended, the Orioles faced the California Angels in Baltimore. Tickets for this game had been sold out for months. After 4.5 innings of play, the game was official. Cal Ripken had played in 2,131 consecutive games.
For the moment you've been waiting for.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way. Swung on, popped up by Marcell Ozuna. Shallow right field coming in. That ball's going to drop for a base hit. That was starting to look like trouble. I thought maybe the right fielder, Moniak, had a beat on it. But he had a long way to go and a short time to get here. To make matters worse, Stefanik, the second baseman, was coming all the way from the second base bag. And he was on a dead sprint. And Moniak basically at the end made a business decision and decided not to get tackled by Stefanik, who was flying in out of nowhere and never made the catch anyways. Matt Olson stands in, so that will be ruled a single. First pitch on the way, swung on, foul back down the line. It's 0-1. They had the infield defense back into the left and the outfield defense well up against the wall. So he basically hit it where they ain't. We got one on, nobody out. High pop-up that just dropped. The 0-1, sinker down and in, 1-1. The 1-1 count, you'd like to see the Braves continue to run that pitch count. We had that pitch count going up pretty well, and then that double play and the quick out right after that by Riley kind of erased all that. The 1-1, outside wide, 2-1, pitch out territory. You always got to keep an eye on old Marcell Ozuna. You never know when old Fred Flintstone might take off. And he just mimicked moving his arms really fast like he might run at any moment. It's pretty funny. The 2-1, in the dirt, 3-1. So a 3-1 count. I always thought Marcell Ozuna might be listening to Braves Country Radio. 3-1 count. One on, nobody out. Atlanta nothing, Angels nothing. Game 1 of a 3-game set. It's Chris Sale Day tomorrow night, unless they make a change. And it looks like Raylo's coming back to face the Phillies on Tuesday. The 3-1. Swing and a miss out wide. Full count. The payoff pitch. Soriano comes set, brings it. Swing, chops it foul. The sinker that Olson just got a piece of. Might have got a stitch or two to slap it back behind home plate. Runner on first. Marcell Ozuna. Nobody out. A full count to Olson. Standing on deck is Smurf. The payoff. Down below the knees, ball 4. We've been gifted some free passes by Soriano all night long. Soriano, his third walk. Man, it's felt like about 7. Sean Murphy comes to the plate. Righty, first pitch. Inside, knuckle curve misses. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Soriano brings it. 98 up top. 2-0. So a 2-0 count. Soriano, 63 pitches in, brings it. 97 right down the pipe. Murphy taking all the way, 2-1. Braves nothing, Angels nothing. Ozuna at second, Olsen at first. The 2-1 swing, and that ball's going to get down where the green grass grows. Here comes Ozuna. He'll fly around and score. We've got runners on the corners. Olsen first to third, and your Atlanta Braves have taken a 1-0 lead in the land of Angels. Good hard hit right there into the corner. Lando Arcia steps in. Righty, first pitch. Right down the pipe at the knees, first strike. It's 0-1. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Braves lead at 1-0. You want like a lot more. See, we just hit the 100 century mark. Great job, y'all. The 0-1. Hitting that century mark just as we start the fourth inning. That's pretty good stuff. They do have a right-hander warming up in the bullpen. It's Rosie Contreras. You would remember him from his days in Pittsburgh. So an 0-2 count, the pitch in the dirt, 1-2. Sinker, that ball was well in the dirt. Soriano, he's recorded 9 outs and is about to throw his 69th pitch. The 1-2, swung on, just got a piece of it in it. It got a piece of Arcia. I double checked that one. Looking at the replay. Oh, no, it got him in the side. I thought it got him in the family jewels. So you got a 1-2 count. Righty. Soriano delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 away. 1 down, and Jared Kelenic comes to the plate. You know, that's the bad news, but the way Soriano swung at that, it could have been worse. It could have been a double play. You would have liked to have seen him get that run in from third, but maybe Kelenic can do the job. Runners at the corners, 1 out. First pitch on the way. Down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Kicks and fires. 95 out wide. 2-0. So a 2-0 count. We got runners on the corners, 1 out. Soriano, that pitch misses outside as well, but he was gifted a strike, 2-1. All you can do is shake your head if you're Kelenic. That pitch was 2 to 3 inches off the plate. The 2-1. In the dirt, ball 3, 3-1. So he's yet to find the strike zone in this at bat. He was gifted one by home plate umpire Charlie Ramos. The 3-1 delivery, swing and a miss over the top, sinker, 3-2. 96 miles an hour. The payoff pitch. Brings it. Swung on, chopped. Baltimore chopper. And that is actually going to get through as an infield single. Wow. Holy cow. It was a Baltimore chopper that third baseman Rendon, there's that $245 million for. He bobbled it off the end of his glove, kind of a nubber. I don't think he was going to get Kelenic. It was going to be really close if he did. The run was going to score anyways. The Braves lead it 2-0. Now we got runners on first and second, one out, and Ron Washington's coming out. I would think that is it. Soriano, goodbye. We'll be heading to the break. Braves lead it 2-0, and the bullpen doors open for the Halos.
I may not be famous, and I may not be a beauty queen. That's it. That's all.
This is the career of Denton Young. People who witnessed his fastball destroy fences said it looked like a cyclone hit it, and that's how he got the nickname Cy. Because he threw so hard, one of his battery mates named Charles Zimmer used to put a beefsteak inside of his glove to protect his catching hand. He was a workhorse. On the last day of his rookie season, he pitched both games of a doubleheader, and not surprisingly, won both of them. They say he is one of the reasons they changed the distance from the mound to home plate in 1893. Around 1895, he developed a pitch called a slow ball to help reduce the stress on his arm. If you're wondering what a slow ball is, look no further than the changeup. In 1902, he joined the Boston Americans of the American League. How did he fare? Pretty good, considering he won almost 42% of his team's games in his first season with the team. Threw the first perfect game in American League history against the Philadelphia Athletics. He still holds the record for the most consecutive innings without allowing a hit. 25 1/3 innings, or 76 hitless batters. In 1911, he retired at the age of 44. His 749 complete games and 511 wins will never be broken.
Armchair.
Hey, could somebody explain to me what's the use of having health insurance when all we do is pay a bunch of money every month in case something happens, but when something does happen, we have to pay a bunch more?
0-2 pitch. Fastball blown away.
When you watched Pedro, it was almost poignant in a way that someone that small could throw that hard. Most great pitchers, you look at them and they all have one great strikeout pitch. If the count's 0-2 or if he even counts 3-2, he always has one place to go to get you out. Well, Pedro Martinez had three places to get you out. It was the fastball, it was the changeup, and it was the curveball. They were all the best pitches of their kind in baseball at the time. And he could put them anywhere that he wanted.
Yeah, John, I agree with the Mark Rendon, or that's not his name, Anthony Rendon, comment about how he's a real POS because, like I said, we've got the soundbite somewhere, but it's not cataloged under Rendon. It's cataloged on whatever it is with. We'll run into it eventually, and I'll bring it up and point it out to y'all. First pitch on the way to Ramon Laureano is up top for a ball. It's 1-0. Ronzi Contreras, a 3.88 ERA. Pretty good numbers, but a 290 batting average against with lefties, 294 with righties. That's pretty high. In fact, I don't know how he's got a 3.88 ERA. His ERA ought to be through the roof. The 2-0, 2 on, 1 out. The righty brings it. Swing, pops it up. High in the sky. Easy out. Calling off the second baseman. Stefanik is Moniak, the right fielder. F9 in your scorecard, 2 away. Willis says, I lived in L.A. for 4 years and wouldn't go back for love nor money. I don't think you'd have any money if you went back to to L.A. There's some broke people out there. There's a lot. They got a lot of issues out there. If you're not starring in a movie, I would not suggest moving out that way. There was a pause in the action. There was a beach ball that the ball boy had to go retrieve. So we're back to it. Merrifield comes in. First pitch on the way. It's a four-seam fastball up top. It's 0-1. Merrifield walked his first time up. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. So they'll be running at the crack of the bat. The 0-1. Chase that one up high. Fouls it back 0-2. 0-2 count. Really is amazing that this guy could have a high. The only thing I can think of without combing through it is that maybe he's coming on, inheriting runners and just finishing off innings. The 0-2 just misses. Man, that was a really, took a lot of cojones to take that pitch, because I'm telling you right now, he could have called that either way and you couldn't complain. The 1-2, we might have got a gift there. The pitch, swing, slices it foul and out of play. We'll do it again. Braves 2, Angels nothing, top of the 4th. Braves have runners on first and second and 2 outs. Here on Players Weekend. And all that means the players get to wear their own different bats and batting gloves and shoes. The 1-2. Hammer down the right field line, but plenty foul. I think it's coming. It's either next weekend or the week after is the one where they put the nicknames on the back. If they're still doing that. It was traditionally Labor Day weekend. The 1-2 brings it. Swing. That ball's hit hard on the ground right at third. It's going to be an easy put out as Rendon steps on the bag to end the inning. But not for your Atlanta Braves, put 2 on the board. We head to the bottom of the 4th, leading 2-0.
I'm only calling your phone 32 times and that's it. Boy, I'm not about to chase you.
The 1906 Chicago Cubs, the 2001 Seattle Mariners, the 1998 New York Yankees are some of the greatest teams of all time. But what about the 1980 Denver Bears? That team won 92 games and finished 21 and a half games ahead of the next closest team. They were an offensive juggernaut, averaging 6.36 runs per game. On top of that, they led the league in home runs, doubles, hits, and OPS. That's not all. They also were a menace on the base pass, finishing second in stolen bases with 143 and second in triples with 47. Man, they could fly. You may be asking yourself, what about their pitching? Their 3.87 ERA and 740 strikeouts were second in the league, and their 14 shutouts were tops in the league. They were hard to beat at home. At one point, they won 21 straight games at home. One of the stars of their team was a 20-year-old Tim Raines, who finished with a 354 batting average to go along with his 11 triples and 77 stolen bases. His teammates Tim Wallach and Randy Bass would also contribute, hitting a combined 73 home runs and driving in a combined 267 runs. 24 of the 29 players on that team would wind up playing in the major leagues. That group combined for 13 All-Star appearances, 3 Gold Gloves, and 3 Silver Sluggers. This team has got to go down as one of the best teams in minor league history.
Booby trap spelled backwards is party boob.
10 Japanese pitchers had already come to the United States, but no Japanese position player had ever appeared in the majors. Then, in 2000, the Japanese-owned Seattle Mariners decided to sign him anyway, hoping Ichiro would attract a large following among Asian Americans living in the Pacific Northwest.
What's up, Braves country? Looking forward to a great Atlanta Braves season. See y'all at the ballpark. Love y'all.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Atlanta Braves lead this one 2-0. Could have been a little better, but we'll take it for now. We're just heading to the bottom of the 4th inning. Spencer Schwellenbach going back to work out there with a 2-0 lead as we begin this inning. Dodgers lead the Cardinals by 1 in the 9th, so that's good news. Seems to be some kind of delay out there. Not sure what it is, but it's holding up the action. It's either that beach ball again or we got a streaker. They call me the streak. First pitch on the way. Swing and a miss over the top. Curveball just below the knees. To Shanuel. The left-handed bat. It's 0-1. The 0-1 to the first baseman. Splitter down and away. 1-1. 1-1 count. The pitch. Swing, slices it into left field, and that ball's going to be fair. It's up against the wall. Kelenic brings it to second. Slow runner is going to be, they're going to say he's safe. Merrifield must have missed the tag because the ball beat him. He was to the left side of the bag, and the runner went to the right. I'd like to see a replay slow down because his hand came off the bag. It's good hustle by Kelenic. He stopped on a dime, turned around, threw a freaking bean to second. I don't know why these second basemen, when they're at where they're at, why they don't just dive into the player. They're over there trying to. So let me see. He comes. No, he did hold the bag. So that was a good call by second base umpire Rob Drake, unless there's another look somewhere else. First pitch on the way, curveball to Cavadas. It's right there, first strike. It's 0-1. He popped up his first time up. Rookie making his debut. The 0-1 in the dirt, 1-1. 19 home runs in the minor leagues. We went over this at the pregame. 67 RBI and 920 OPS. That's why he's hitting cleanup. Power bat from the left side. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Curveball, 1-2. The 1-2 count. The 1-2. Did he go around? He did. Strike three. Got him. I don't think the rookie's seen those kinds of benders down on the farm. One away. He tried to hold up, man. That thing, he tried with all his might to hold up. Yeah, he definitely went around. They finally showed the side view, and he absolutely went around. First pitch on the way to the right-handed bat of Ohapi. You got to be wary of him. He has got some power in that bat. Right there, first strike, it's 0-1. Righty-righty matchup, runner at second, one out, the 0-1. 97, just misses outside. So a 1-1 count. Schwellenbach comes set, brings it. Swing, hits it high and deep into center field. Going back on the track, it's gone. I told you. Oh, Hoppy's got some poppy, and it's tied up here in L.A. A hanging breaking ball, and he went bonzo, and all that hard work is gone. It's a tie ball game here in L.A. It was a hanger about just about waist high, just below the waist, dead center over the plate. And you do that to a major league hitter, even a rookie like that, he is not going to miss that thing. That might as well have been on a tee. One down. So back to the drawing board. We're tied up at 2. Bottom of the 4th. First pitch on the way to Drury is outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Kicks and fires. 94 right down the pipe, 1-1. That's one of those ones you basically, if you're Schwellenbach, you just got to shake it off and get back to work. The 1-1, 97 right there, 1-2. The 1-2. I must have missed something. I don't know what y'all are talking about in the chat. The 1-2 pitch. Outside, wide. 2-2. So the 2-2 count. Murphy's having to go back to the... Looks like there's something wrong with his gloves, so while he does that, we'll hit the out-of-town scoreboard real quick. These games are in the book. Brewers beat the Guardians. Twins beat the Rangers. Mets beat the Marlins. Red Sox came back and beat the Orioles. Man, 12-10. What a game that was. Diamondbacks lose to the Rays. The 2-2 swung on and lifted into right center field. That's going to slap up against the backs of the right field wall, and it's a one-out double, and Schwellenbach starting to struggle here in the fourth. Remember, he had that problem when he first came up, getting through that fourth inning. It looks like it's happening again. He's hitting a wall. That really wasn't that bad of a pitch. He went out there and got that one off the plate, but once again, that bender, he's hanging it, and it allowed him to drive it. Smurf has to wake up and realize he's not hitting that pitch this inning, so quit going to it. He's got 6 pitches. Quit dialing up the bender. First pitch on the way, swung on, chopped foul into the dugout of the Atlanta Braves on the first base side. It's 0-1. Los Angeles Angels call third base home. About 40% of Major League Baseball does that. The 0-1 swung on, grounded over to second. Merrifield's got it, flips it to first, but the go-ahead run is 90 feet away as he moves up. Phillies won. They beat the Nationals. Mets beat the Marlins. Yankees beat the Tigers in a shutout 3-0. Judge hit another home run, his 44th. Bobby Witt Jr. hit another home run. Royals beat the Reds 7-1. Cubs walk off the Blue Jays. First pitch on the way to Adele is a swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. Rockies 7-3 over the Padres. White Sox upending the Astros in Houston 5-3. What about that? The 0-1. Down and away. 1-1. We are in the middle of August, and the White Sox have 11 road wins. Wow. 29 altogether, but wow. The 1-1 swing belted. Another hanger, another banger. Will it stay? Will it stay? Jumping, making the catch in foul territory. Holy cow. Kid Kelnick, we'll give him a 10 for difficulty. I think he made it a little more difficult than it should have been. He leaped when he shouldn't have leapt, but we made the catch. We'll head to break.
God gives the hardest battles to his strongest soldiers.
When did I sign up for the war? When did I enlist?
Facebook just killed me. Dear Santa, I am writing this on the day after Xmas, and I am very sad. I only received one of the 2 presents I asked for. Since you ate my cookies, I will assume that my missing gift was a mistake. I will give you 1 week to fix this, Jeremy. Dear Jeremy, I am sorry you are disappointed with your presents. You asked for 2 very expensive presents, and Santa can only do so much. You need to learn to be grateful for what you have, not upset about what you don't. If you continue to complain, I will have no choice but to add you to the naughty list next year, Santa. Dear Fatty, your threats don't scare me. I played your game and you did not deliver. This is not okay. I will give you 1 week and then you will pay. Jeremy. P.S. I don't know why you care that it's expensive when you have elf slaves to make things for I think you are naughty for having slave. Period, Jeremy.
Ichiro finished his first season, leading the American League in at-bats, hits, batting average, and stolen bases, won a Gold Glove Award, and was voted Rookie of the Year and MVP. It would be his first of 9 consecutive 200-hit seasons, breaking a record set by Wee Willie Keeler a century earlier in 1901. Other big league clubs were now eager to sign the next Ichiro.
That's a great thing about globalization, that people can take this thing that you played with and invented, and maybe to some degree spoiled with whatever's going on here, and it can go to an entirely different place and be recreated and regrown as if it's a hybrid flower of some kind, and then come back and show you the game maybe in a different way, and maybe in a way it used to be that you hadn't thought of in a long time.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way. The outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. The 0-1. You call that a strike? Wow. The 0-1 outside wide, 1-1. That pitch was outside the zone. I just assumed he was calling that a ball. He called it a strike. The 1-1 pitch. Swing, fouls it back. Contreras still in there. Contreras kicks and fires. The swing, and that ball's hit into right field. That is going to get down for a base hit. Thought that ball may stay up, but it drops to the feet, right in front of the feet of Moniak, the right fielder, and the Braves got one on, nobody out here in the top of the fifth. We need to get the runs back. Get this thing cruising. We don't need another nail biter. Good piece of hitting by Harris. Got some smoke on it. The top spin got it down before it was caught in right field. First pitch on the way to Austin Riley is down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Righty-righty matchup. Harris at first, nobody out. Riley, 2 strikeouts so far. My click has not clacked. I read that one wrong. So an 1-0 count, 0 for 2. Riley now batting just .259 on the year. The 1-0. Swing, chops it foul, slider. 1-1. You know, you would tend to think I don't know what they're replaying here. For some reason, they're replaying Rendon getting hurt. Hit the 1-1, swing and a miss, 1-2. The 1-2 count. Runner at first, nobody out. Contreras comes set, the pitch. Up top, 95 misses, 2-2. The 2-2 from Contreras, his 18th pitch of the outing, brings it. Swing, lifts it down the first base side, foul and out of play. We'll do it again. The Dodgers did hold on and beat the Cardinals, so that helps the Braves in the wild card race. The 2-2. Down and away, ball 3, 3-2. Same two teams back at it tonight, 9:38. The last game, last late pitch of the season, truly late pitch, the 3-2. Swing, that ball's lifted high into center field, going back just before the warning track, making the catch is Joe Odell for out number 1. Harris probably honestly should have tagged up on that one, but he's got to get that direction from Goodwin. He was more than halfway to second. That ball was obviously going to be caught. He's got to get that direction from his first base coach. There's a lot going on out there for a player to realize whether they should be tagging or whatnot. First pitch on the way to Marcell Ozuna is down the way for a ball. It's 1-0. Marcell Ozuna been scuffling a bit the last week. Rough series in San Francisco. The 1-0 outside wide, 2-0. His numbers don't look as bad because of the good series he had in Colorado. That 4-game series in San Francisco, he just, for whatever reason, no matter what part of his career you look at, Marcell Ozuna has never hit well in San Francisco. I don't think the Giants will ever be trying to sign him in any future offseason. Timeout on the field as the catcher having equipment problems. Looks like he's ready to roll. The 2-0 to the Big Zoo brings it. Down and away, 3-0. Standing on deck is Matt Olson. Ozuna, if he can get a walk here, he can put the go-ahead run in scoring position. The pitch, down below the knees, ball 4. So a good at bat there by the Big Zoo. Yeah, Colorado's going to have to wait on that Soler power side. Braves will have him under control for the next 2 years. And then there's also, I believe, it looks like they're going back to the bullpen. We'll take a quick break when we come back. Tell you more about Soler's contract, what the Braves might do.
What can I get started for you?
Ruby, what do you want?
Hamburger?
Hamburger?
French fries?
French fries?
Salt.
Fart. Ruby!
Dear Jeremy, you are being a very bad little boy because you cannot be happy with what you have. I have talked to your parents and told them to take away your Wii U. Wow. Now you have nothing. Once you learn to be grateful, perhaps you can have it back. I am very disappointed in you, Jeremy. You will need to be an extra good boy this year if you want to make it back on the nice list. Dear Santa, I do not like that stunt you pulled in my pants. You are on my naughty list. Now be afraid. Enjoy your cookies next year. Jeremy was not playing.
I have still 2 gloves that I've carded across all the years, and I have them for a purpose. One selfish, one familial. The selfish reason is I love them. I love them because they remind me of what I was when I was a kid, and they allow me to still be a kid when I hold the gloves. I can still see my parents, I can still see the apartment we lived in, all of those things. The familial reason is that my kids, like a lot of kids today, have an excess of things, material things. But my boys who played baseball, when they were 12, 13, or 14, they would occasionally come to me and say, Dad, I can't find my stuff. I can't find my catcher's equipment. You know where my bats went? And I'd go get one of the gloves and I'd say, hold it up, and I'd say, I've had this since 1954. I know where this is. Go find your stuff and don't lose it.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way is down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. Brock Burke, the left-hander on the mound, facing Matt Olson, the 1-0. Swing and a miss over the top. Sinker down and in, 1-1. The 1-1 Lefty, lefty. The pitch. 97 on the outer edge, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch, outside wide, 87-mile-an-hour slider, misses just off the plate. Ball 3-1. So a 3-1 count. The pitch on the way, slice foul down the third base side into the seats, full count. Braves 2, Angels 2, top of the 5th. The payoff pitch. Outside wide, ball 4. So a slider well off the plate. Bases on balls have been riddling the Angels staff all night long. And here comes Sean Murphy. Got to come through. Need a fly ball. Base anything to get the lead. First pitch on the way, down and in, almost gets him. 96-mile-an-hour four-seamer, it's 1-0. That came dangerously close to hitting Murphy around the kneecap area. The 1-0. Lefty, righty. Burke brings it outside wide, 2-0. So a 2-0 count. Remember, standing at third is Michael Harris second. So it wouldn't take much of a fly ball to reel him in. They're going to go out and talk to him real quick. Might be just trying to calm the rookie down. While they do that, it's about that time to turn back time. This date, 1954, the first issue of Sports Illustrated is available at the newsstands. The inaugural cover of the innovative new magazine features Mark Kaufman, photo of Braves slugger Eddie Matthews at bat. Giants catcher Wes Westrom behind the plate, and umpire Augie Donatelli calling balls and strikes in Milwaukee County Stadium. The 2-0 pitch, 95 up top, misses, ball 3-0. That was on this date, 1954. I did not know that Eddie Matthews was the feature of the first Sports Illustrated cover. Available at newsstands. The 3-0, right there at the knees, 96 on the outer edge, 3-1. You got to take that pitch if you're Murphy. He's thrown 3 balls in a row. He's got to prove to you that he can find the zone. Lando Arcia stands on deck. The 3-1. Swing and a miss over the top, four-seam fastball. Full count. So you got to find a way. Shorten up your swing. Whatever you got to do, you got to get that run home. Cannot have another empty at bat. The payoff pitch. Swing. Hits it down the third base line, but foul. I think it might have gotten a piece of Murphy's foot. Bases loaded. 1 out. Burke steps off the plate. Off the bump, excuse me. Bases loaded. 1 out. Here comes the pitch from Burke. Swing, pops it up. Hopefully that bends into the stands because that was a good old-fashioned can of corn. If it stays in, it does get out of play. Colorado leads San Diego 7-3 in the 8th. So a full count, 1 out, brings it. Caught looking, strike 3. Murphy. Good night, Irene. 2 away. Another bat at bat by Sean Murphy. You really have to wonder what in the world he's doing batting in the 5th spot. The guy is having just a horrendous year. They keep trying to force a square peg into a round hole. First pitch on the way to Arcia is swings, and he lifts it high into center field, but that's going to be an easy, lazy fly ball. Easy out. Arcia's first pitch swinging once again. He slams his bat, but that ain't the bat's fault. It's what's in between the ears.
Call a business owned by a broad and ask to speak to the man in charge. Be a man.
There was 1,000 Brits and 1,000 Americans. Who do you think would win in a fight?
I can't believe I'm about to say this as a Brit, but I've got to be honest. The question there was who would win in a fight between America and the UK. Yeah, the UK doesn't stand a chance. I'm a Brit in America. I have been around Americans. I've spent many months in America, right? What are we going to do with our little butter knives? Nothing. The Americans would simply look at the Brits and say, let's go. Yeah, the Brits would turn up with their marmalade sandwiches, Paddington Bear, and their butter knives. What are the Brits going to do? This fight has already happened between the Brits and America. Yeah. And they won with farmers and pitchforks. What makes you think us Brits, yeah, tally-ho, are going to turn up and win? I'm sorry, it hurts me to say it as a Brit, but I've been around Americans. I understand how Americans are, yeah? It ain't happening. It's game over for the Brits, mate. It's done. See you later, King Charles. See you later, pal.
It crashed into the top of the tower.
I woke up the morning of September 11th. I had an appearance in Manhattan, waiting for a car service to pick me up. My phone rings. It's the car service saying, you still going? I said, yeah, why? I hadn't turned the TV on. He said, well, a plane flew into the World Trade Center. Well, I turned on the TV, and then the second plane hit the World Trade Center.
The tragedy was too great to comprehend. The country was in shock. No one knew what was going to happen next. Planes were grounded. Schools and businesses were closed. The financial markets shut down. Major League Baseball canceled all games indefinitely.
Schwellenbach goes to work here. Braves and Angels are tied at 2. The bottom of the 5th. Braves have had plenty of opportunities to score. Haven't come through in the clutch. First pitch on the way. After the 0-1 is sliced foul and out of play. It's 0-2. The 0-2. Swing. Lifts it high. Into right field. Coming over. Did he make the catch? Nah, Laureano. I don't know what he did. He kind of halfway threw his glove out there and the ball bounced by it. Just out of his reach. 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Number 9 hitter, Stefanik, top of the order, standing on deck. The pitch. Caught looking, strike 3. 97 on the inner black. 1 away. One down. First pitch on the way to Ward is a 4-seam fastball. Fouls it back. It's 0-1. Braves 2, Angels 2. 5th inning. Still a long way to go in this one. Braves pecking away at the Angels bullpen. The 0-1 up top for a strike. 0-2. An 0-2 count. 1 for 2 with the single is Taylor Ward. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, 4-seam fastball, 2 away. Schwellenbach, by the way, is at 75 pitches. So if he can get out of this inning pretty quickly, he would definitely be in line to go back out there for inning number 6. Tomorrow is Chris Sale Day. Charlie Morton on Sunday. And as it lines up right now, if you read the tea leaves, there's no official announcement, but Raylo will begin the beginning of that Philly series on Tuesday. He got up to 71 pitches in his last outing. First pitch on the 0-1 on the way is up top for a strike. Evens up the count. It's 1-1. The 1-1 chops it foul inside. 1-2. So a 1-2 count. Man, that pitch got him right on the instep. The 1-2. Kicks and fires. Sliced over towards the first base side. We'll do it again, 1-2. Braves 2, Angels 2. Schwellenbach, swing and a miss, strike 3. He strikes out the side. How about that? Schwellenbach, other than that one that he gave up, he's having himself a pretty good night. We head to the 6th, tied at 2.
Oh, God. Just keep your mouth shut. You just making it worse.
I'm just feeling really down these days, and I don't know why. Have you exercised today? No. Did you go outside? No. Did you talk to anyone? No. Did you eat well? No. Did you limit your scrolling time? No. Did you make any plans? No. Did you drink enough water? No. Did you get enough sleep? No. Wait, yes. Yes to that one. Yeah, no, it's, what a mystery.
Over the next few days, the nation slowly began to regroup. Thousands made their way to New York to help search the rubble for survivors. Only a handful were found. They're still trying to find people, Derek Jeter, a resident of Manhattan, said. I really don't think it's the right time to play baseball. On Friday, September 14th, Commissioner Bud Selig announced that baseball would begin again the following Monday.
Following Monday, when they opened Wall Street, the streets were ringed with men with machine guns. There was still smoke pouring out of the pyre of the World Trade Center. A cop recognizes me. He says, how are you? I said, I'm all right. I'm all right. How are you? He says, I'm worried. I said, yeah, I'm worried too. He said, I'm worried about the Mets. And I sort of snapped out of it. I said, you're worried about the Mets? He said, yeah, well, I mean, the season resumes tonight. I'm really worried. You're in Pittsburgh. I mean, do you think they've got enough to get back in the pennant race? I mean, they were doing so well, and can they catch the Braves? I said, how on earth could that possibly matter? We're standing, I mean, the smoke coming up from behind us. And what? He says, well, he says, it doesn't matter. Of course it doesn't matter. I got 300 friends dead. It doesn't matter. He says, but tonight, 7 o'clock, and all day the rest of today, I can look forward to it at 7 o'clock where I can put my feet up and pretend it does matter.
Please like and subscribe today, youtube.com/@BravesCountry. Welcome back. Leading off the inning is Jared Kelenic. Slider at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Lefty. Burke misses down and away, 1-1. I'd still like to see Kelenic and company make this guy throw strikes. He really has been all over the place. The 1-1 swung at that one off the plate, 1-2. So a 1-2 count. Lefty. The pitch. Down and away, 2-2. Good to see you pushing buttons. The 2-2. Brings it. Up top, misses. Ball 3-2. So a full count. Braves 2, Angels 2. Top of the 6th, tie game. Braves jumped out to a 2-0 lead, and then a 2-run home run tied us up. The payoff pitch. Kicks and fires in the dirt, ball 4. So that'll get us started here in the top of the inning. Ramon Laureanos digs in. He's 0 for 2. First pitch, swing and a miss over the top. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Lefty righty. Burke brings it. Swing, chops it over to short. It's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. Getting used to those. He threw that ball. Actually, it wasn't a bad pitch to hit. Are they calling him safe? For some reason, they haven't. No, he's out. I don't know what they're doing. This is typical Bally Sports. Their graphics are always jacked up. There's nobody on despite what your screen says if you're watching at home. First pitch on the way. Down and in for a ball, 4-seam fastball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Swing and a miss over the top. 1-1. 1-1 count. Kicks and fires down below the knees. 2-1. The 2-1 pitch, way outside wide. Ball 3-1. So a 3-1 count. Once again, the folks at Bally Sports for the Braves, there's nobody on. The 3-1. Swing, lifts it foul down the line. We'll do it again. The interns that they have that run the road games, I mean, they are pitiful. So a full count to Merrifield. Standing on deck is Harris. The payoff pitch. Swing. Fouls it back. The payoff pitch, caught looking, strike 3. Another one. Go sit down, son. We'll be back in a flash. We're tied up here in the 6th.
Hey, I know y'all do stuff different in Africa, but this ain't gonna fly in my American church. A South African pastor who claims to heal people by farting in their face claims he farts the Holy Spirit. Ain't no way. First of all, if you fart the Holy Spirit, I fart cash register sounds. Can't believe y'all letting that man sit down on y'all face. Y'all ain't scared of mist? Yeah, it goes through cotton. You can't even really see it. It's like a spooky dookie. Our people don't think. Not every day is going to be a fart. But I can't see how y'all let them sit on y'all face after 2 or 3 sermons. You know you sweat on the pulpit. Now you smell like Holy Ghost nuts.
Hey, Braves Country. This is Mac Magee with Braves Country Radio. We are bringing you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves all year long. Please like and subscribe today. It's free, and it helps us bring you more of the game we all love. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
You're out of luck, because that's like all I got, dude. I'm like 95% cringe, and then it stops because I didn't have enough to get 100%. So it's just cringe, and that's all. Embrace the cringe!
The New York Yankees' first game was in Chicago.
The remarkable part was we go out there and in the stands you see We Love New York, and we're in Chicago, and you know that, in Boston they were playing New York, New York. That type of stuff just gave you goosebumps when you realized that it was just a country coming together. And our baseball was there to distract the people from, thinking about the horrors that just went on.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way from Schwellenbach, 97 miles an hour off the plate to the left-handed bat of Shanwell is 1-0. The 1-0, righty-lefty, 96 down and in, 2-0. So a 2-0 count. Same two teams back at it tomorrow night, 9:38. First pitch, the 2-0, swung on, lifted foul down the line, 2-1. Once again, you can't really fault this night on Schwellenbach so far because the 2-1 just misses 3-1. You got to get more runs. I mean, this offense, they give it bats away. And I know it's a broken record at this point, but it really is Seitzer's responsibility. The 3-1 paid off pitch, chop foul down the line, 3-2. All those years when the New York Yankees were dominating in the late 90s, and everybody always wanted to point to what the money that they spent. But they developed a lot of their hitters, and the one thing they were always taught was to work the counts. The payoff pitch, nowhere near the zone, ball 4. Schwellenbach, 86 pitches in. He might be starting to hit a wall. He's got 8 strikeouts on the night. He's looking over his shoulder. When you're looking over your shoulder, that is a telltale sign on a rookie that you're looking for help. So that's why Murphy's going out there to talk to him, even though Manuel hasn't picked up on it and Snicker hasn't either. Murphy picked up on it and went out there and talked to him. There's Abreu. When you see those youngsters look over their shoulder like that, like he just did, looking back at the dugout late in the game like this. Pierce Johnson is warming up in the pen. You can tell he's running out of gas. And the fact that 2 of those 4 balls were left up high in the zone. Just luckily they were off the plate. Now he's going to face the rookie Cavadas. First pitch, splitter on the outer edge for a strike. It's 0-1. He's leaving that splitter up high. He's leaving all of his breaking stuff up high. Usually that's because fatigue and he's not driving through on the release. The 0-1. Sinker down and away, 1-1. Sure, they figured he was okay at just 85 pitches. He's hitting a wall quickly. The 1-1. Splitter misses down below the knees, near the shoe tops, 2-1. The 2-1, runner on first, nobody out. Bottom of the 6th, tie ball game. The pitch. Right there for a strike, slider up top, 2-2. It's the type of pitch that normally a slugger is going to take yard. I think he's a little fortunate he's facing the rookie and he just didn't pull the trigger. The 2-2. They set up high. 96 trying to get him to chase. Full count. So nibbling again, we got a full count. Go ahead, runner at first. Nobody out. The payoff pitch. Nowhere near the zone, ball 4. Schwellenbach has walked the first 2 batters he's faced. this should be the end. It is. Snickers crawling out of the dugout, and he'll go get him. It looks like it's going to be Pierce Johnson. He never really should have faced that second batter. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
Smoking meth and posting Bible quotes on Facebook does not make you a Methodist.
When I committed to Florida State, the things that happened to me and my family was unbelievable. Living in the state of Alabama, 35 minutes from Tuscaloosa. I mean, my mailbox getting beat down. Thank the Lord, Home Depot had these mailboxes you could stick in the ground. I still don't have grass that grows in my front yard at my hometown house. Somebody pours in my grass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I smell gasoline. Fans would send my grandmother hate mail. You going at grandma just because her grandson ain't going to Alabama?
Hey, Braves Country, I'm Mac Magee. Join us for Pitch by Pitch, Play by Play, the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. We're bringing you Atlanta Braves baseball all year long. Jump into our pregame show, Braves Country Today, just before first pitch. Stick around for the postgame show, Braves Country Tonight, where we will open up the phone lines and react to your calls or your comments all year long. That's Braves Country Radio, pitch by pitch, play by play, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
With 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th inning, Derek Jeter came to bat.
Young Hun Kim trying to send this game to the 11th.
It was 4 minutes after midnight on November 1st.
Taking care of the first 2 here in the 10th. Jeter hits it into right. Back at the wall. Game over. Yankees win and the series is tied.
Welcome back. Schwellenbach's day is done. Pierce Johnson steps in, inheriting 2 runners and nobody out. First pitch on the way, 4-seam fastball right down the pipe. It's on 1. He'll be charged with the unenviable task of taking on 2 on, nobody out in the heart of the lineup. The 0-1 to Hoppy, who hit a home run earlier, 95 out wide. They said he didn't go around. 1-1. Standing on deck is Rendon, Moniak in the hole. The 1-1 from Pierce. PJ brings it. That ball is slapped. Oh, what a leaping catch by Arcia. Wow. He tried to double up the runner. He shouldn't have let go of it. The runner had already made it back to second base. Merrifield didn't expect it coming, and the way he threw it kind of handcuffed him. He had no chance of making that catch. But a great snow cone jump and catch by Arcia. He almost cost, after a great play, he almost had an error. He almost cost us a base. First and second, 1 out. First pitch is a curveball. Little high in the zone to Drury. It's 0-1. Drury, who is in for Anthony Rendon. I guess they took him out maybe because of the ball that hit him. I don't know. The 0-1. Down and in, 1-1. I have heard some Angel fans talk about how they think that Rendon, some of his injuries are, not going to say they're make-believe, but they're over-enhanced because he's just really there to write out his contract and collect his money. The 1-1 to Drury, who's 1 for 1. Pitch on the way. Curveball right there at the knees, 1-2. Drury batting 162 on the year, but at one point, Brandon Drury, he was a trade target for a few teams a few years back. In fact, the Braves were in the mix 2021 and 22. The 1-2. PJ's going to spin around and chase the runner back to second. That'll count as a move. Drury hasn't had a ton of base at bats this year, batting 162 with a 453 OPS, 1 home run and 10 RBI. The 1-2. Swung on, chopped over towards short. Arcia will fire it to second. No chance to double him up. We'll get the second out. 2 away, runners on the corners now. Slow developing double play. Arcia maybe it could have went to third, but it would have been so close. He took the smart play, getting the second runner, keeping that second runner out of scoring position. Mickey Moniak will now come up. He's 0 for 2, righty-lefty matchup. Number 7 hitter. Pitch on the way. Swung on, chopped foul. It's 0-1. One thing you do have to keep an eye on with Pierce Johnson, which cost us the other night, is his curveballs. One goes in the dirt, and the go-ahead run could come across the plate. The 0-1. PJ kicks and fires. Blasted. Deep into right field. Off the wall. 1 run will score. Here comes the carom off the wall, and the Angels have made it 3-2. The runner at first was held up. It's a pretty good carom retrieved by Ramon Laureano. That had a chance to get out. It hit the top of the wall. Maybe missed a home run by about 2 feet where the yellow line is if you're watching on your screen. So the Braves trail now 3-2. Joe Odell, who's 0 for 2, comes up. 2 runners in scoring position at second and third. First one on the way is a curveball in the dirt. It's 0-1. The 0-1. That run will be charged to the starter Schwellenbach. Obviously not going to go to PJ. 4-seam fastball on the edge, 2-0. So a 2-0 count, and rightfully so. 2 walks set this inning up. The 2-0 count. Righty brings it. Swing, chops it foul down the line. 2-1. The 2-1. That'll close the books on Schwellenbach. 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. 2-1. Swing, fouls it back 2-2. It'll raise his ERA to 4.04. But they should have had PJ ready to roll, because when he walked that first batter, you knew there was trouble because he was missing high and out of the zone. The 2-2 brings it. Curveball down and away, full count. Angels 3, Braves 2, bottom of the 6th. The payoff pitch, hammered over to third. Diving play by Riley. He fires it over to first. What a great throw and catch. And my God, that's going to be da-na-na. Riley had to dive into foul territory, fires it to first, and Joe Adell was rounding the bases. I think he thought that's exactly what happened. Joe Adell thought that the ball had made it down the line, and he was digging for 2. He cost himself that. Thankfully, we'll be back in a flash.
You guys, I got on the scale this morning, and let me tell you, the armor of God is heavy. Isn't it great to know that he's always there?
I woke up today, I said, you know what, I'm gonna look cute. I'm gonna actually look like a girl. I'm gonna put some makeup on. I decided to straighten my hair. Outfit trash, but you know what, we did the makeup. Class is canceled. So you mean to tell me I fought for my life for this eyeliner for nobody to see it?
Hey, I don't know who I need to talk to in order to put this in action, but I think buying groceries with no food stamps should help boost your credit score.
What is a random baby name that you 100% will be naming your kid no matter what your spouse says?
I'm going to name him Wussel, so people think he has a speech impediment.
In Game 6, Randy Johnson came through again for Arizona, and they beat New York 15-2 in Phoenix. In Game 7, for the third time, Curt Schilling started for Arizona. Roger Clemens again pitched for New York.
Curt Schilling, who last night guaranteed a victory, saying we're going to win. The chance of a lifetime for Luis Gonzalez. 2-2, bottom of the ninth, bases loaded. Infield in, one out.
The one problem is Rivera throws inside the left-handers, and left-handers get a lot of broken bat hits into the shallow part of the outfield. That's the danger in bringing the infield in with a guy like Rivera on the mound.
There's just enough time in baseball to see tragedy or triumph headed your way. Season's over.
The Diamondbacks are world champions.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. What an outstanding play by Riley. More important, what a dopey, boneheaded base running homer by Odell. For those of y'all listening on radio, the best way I explain, Joe Odell thought that ball had gone down the third base line into the corner. He was doing a wide turn and digging for two, and he was just absolutely floored when, as he hits first base, the first pitch to Harris is down and away for a ball. It's 1-0. He was absolutely floored when the ball was delivered to first, beating him by about a step. The 1-0, outside wide 1-1. If he runs through the bag, Joe Adell's safe, and the Angels lead it 4-2. Instead, he rounded out his route because he was ready to cut first to head to second. And he was like, wait, what just happened? The look on his face is priceless. He's like, wait a minute, what the hell just happened? I'm sure he's going to go back in the dugout eventually and look at that replay and go, you got to be kidding me. The 2-1, swing and a miss, slider down and in, 2-2. Braves trail by 1. Could have been worse, though. Schwellenbach really ran out of gas, and Pierce Johnson was able to put out the fire. The 2-2. Outside wide, 3-2. So a 3-2 count. When a guy's in the 6th inning going back out there and you're in a tie game like that, the payoff pitch, slice fouling out of play, especially a guy who's been known to run out of gas. If you want to send him back out there, I've got no problem with it. But the first batter that gets on via bases on balls, you got to go get him. Instead, Snicker let him go out there because he wasn't prepared. The bullpen wasn't prepared. And the next thing you know, we got first and second, nobody out. The 3-2, hammered down the right field line. We'll do it again. Fouling out of play. Braves 2, Angels 3. The payoff pitch. Swing, lifts it high into left center field, going back, making the catch at the wall. Warning track power, 1 away. 1 down, and Austin Riley comes up. You see it a lot when a player makes a great defensive play like that and they come up in the next inning. That little extra boost of adrenaline sometimes leads to good things at the plate. It's a 2-hopper in the glove of Olsen. I still can't believe Adell was rounding the base. You probably got to put that on the first base coach too as well, because he's got to be saying dig, dig, dig. He can't be just letting you. Because what happens? What happens if he does beat out the throw? He's going to be out immediately when Olsen turns around and smacks him with the ball going by. The 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. The 0-2 count, and now you can see what the frustration of Joe Adell has been all these years with the Angels. They can see the talent but he just has never put it together. The 0-2 in the dirt, 1-2. The 1-2 count, Hunter Strickland has come on. He has been around for quite some time. Hunter Strickland, he's the one that famously got in the fight with Bryce Harper years ago when Strickland was a Giant and Harper was a National. The 1-2 swing, hammers it down the line, foul and out of play. We'll do it again. Marcell Ozuna looms on deck. Strickland was a part of that 2014 championship team, World Series championship team of the Giants. The 1-2 up top, 95, close shave, 2-2. He played for the Giants all the way through 2018. Then 2019 went to Seattle, and then strangely goes to Washington in 2019. The 2-2 chopped over towards first. It's just foul. That would have been an easy out. Thankfully, it rolled foul. We'll do it again. He actually spent 1 year, 2020, the pandemic, threw a couple innings with the Mets. Went to Tampa Bay and the Angels. And the tail end of 21 ended up with Milwaukee. So he was on the team that the Braves beat in the NLDS at the time. He was in Cincinnati in 2022 and then was not in the majors last year, but came back this year to the Angels. The 2-2. High chopper over the mound. Riley's busting it. He's going to be, they're going to get him. They're going to say they got him. That's a close play. Riley doesn't look like thinks he was safe. Man, that is close. I'd like to see a slow down replay of it. They got him. They just got him. Bad camera work there is not showing a slow down version of him, but we'll just assume they got him. That is so close. I'm looking at the replay on the Angels. First pitch on the way to Ozuna is hit up the middle and backhanded, and that's going to be a infield single for Marcell Ozuna. The Angels replay that was showing it looked like it was a tie go to the runner. But I think the way Riley just turned right and headed back in the dugout, they didn't even think about overturning it. It would have been really close. It would have been good to look at to see if Ozuna beat that by about a step. The second baseman, Stefanak, slid, and as he threw it, Nito, the shortstop, was leaping over him, so he had to pause for a second, or he was going to hit Nito with the ball. And then he threw from his knees, and the one hopper could not get Ozuna. First pitch to Olsen is outside for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Slider. Little off the edge, but called for a wide strike. 1-1. The 1-1 count. Go ahead, run at the plate. The pitch. Down and in, 2-1. If this was a little later in the game, you probably would see Luke Williams or coming in to pinch run for Ozuna. But you still got two more innings. There's a good chance that he could come back up to bat. The 2-1. Outside wide, ball 3-1. So a 3-1 count. Braves trail by 1. Runner at first. Strickland, 21st pitch of the inning, brings it. Swing, sliced into left field. That's down for a base hit. Your Atlanta Braves. Runners on first and second. The tying run at second. 2 outs. Sean Murphy coming to the plate. He went down and got that one. Matt Olson is starting to swing the bat well. When he goes down and gets pitches like that, they're going to go out there and talk to him real quick and just kind of go over a game plan against Murphy. probably going to tell him to throw stuff down and away and get him to roll over on one. That's been the game plan all year long against Murphy, and it's tended to work. If you get it up middle, cut in, he can turn it and burn it into the gap. Quick powwow, and they head back to the dugout. Hunter Strickland, that could have also been just to give him a bit of a breather. He's thrown 21 pitches. Braves trail by 1. 2 on, 2 out. Sean Murphy in a big spot here. Walked and singled earlier. The first pitch swings at a cutter off the outer edge of the plate. Well out in front of it, it's 0-1. Murphy batting just .229 on the year. The 0-1. Outside wide. 1-1. 1-1 count. Righty. The pitch from Strickland. Chases another cutter down the way, 1-2. They're just taking him to school on that pitch. That pitch was further down and away than the first one he swung at. The 1-2 to Murphy. And way outside wide. Thankfully, because Murphy was thinking about swinging to that one. That ball was into the left-hander's batter's box, and Ohapi had to dive. That ball almost went to the backstop. That would have been a big play. You would have put the go-ahead run at second, the tying 90 feet away. The 2-2. Strickland brings it. Swing, fists it back foul. We'll do it again. Same two teams tomorrow night, 9:38 first pitch. It'll be Griffin Canning versus Chris Sale. This was the game of all the three games. This is the one we were most, I mean, you always have to be ready for all three of them, but this is the one you had the biggest question about because of the pitching matchup. The Braves have a big advantage in the other two. The 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Murphy took to school on that cutter. Man, oh man, embarrassing. We'll be back in a flash.
What are you doing? Excuse me? Are you really drinking a beer before work? You damn right I'm having a beer. What? Have you been to that job? No. Have you dealt with them idiots all day? No. Let me do me. Thank you.
Don't put your mouth on something that somebody else might touch. You're not supposed to do that. Some germs are good for you. Lots of germs are bad.
Yeah, you're damn right I'm thick. Thick of not being appreciated.
I got a PSA, and this is for everybody that's already cutting their damn grass. Cause why is you cutting your grass? Huh? Well, listen here, damn it. I'm not doing it. I'm not cutting my grass. I don't care if it's 80 degrees and beautiful out here, you hear me? I don't care. Cause it was just 39 degrees this morning. I got on long sleeves, and I'm not cutting my grass.
When I said I like it rough, I did not mean my whole life, Jesus. I didn't. I didn't. Let's sit down and have a talk for just a minute, okay there, bud? Okay? No, this ain't gonna work, my boy.
The New York Yankees.
All right! I can't see you. Let me hear you. All right.
strike. Dylan Lee, the pitcher. First pitch on the way to Stefanik, the number 9 hitter. Man, it seems like he's been up 4 times tonight. About to flip over the order again. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Slider down and in. 1-1. 1-1 count. Lefty, righty. Up top for a strike, 1 and 2. I have to laugh sometimes. I know we get frustrated. We're talking about DFAing Sean Murphy, who just signed to a 6-year extension last year. The 1-2 brings it down and away, 2 and 2. Braves 2, Angels 3. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Change up on the outer edge, 1 away. And Brian, that's like the 3rd time you keep saying Murphy's getting traded at the end of the month. It's too funny. I'd say whoever's telling you that is also giving your college football news. The first pitch on the way to Ward is swung on and hit into the corner, going off the wall. It's going to be a 1-out double. Kelnick gets it, flips it back into the infield, and the Angels are threatening once again. That ball took a funny bounce into the corner, just kind of died at the wall. They've got that padding that only goes up so high, so if the ball gets caught underneath that padding, it just kind of dies. First pitch to Nito is outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Outside wide, 2-0. I think that's my favorite because you've said that 3 or 4 times in the last couple of weeks. Like, yeah, the Braves are going to make a trade 30 days after the trade deadline going into September. The 2-0, swing and a miss over the top, change up, 2-1. Who told you that? Paul Feinbaum? Braves 2, Angels 3, bottom of the 7th. Lee brings it. Swing and a miss. Slider. 84 miles an hour, 2-2. That ball got in on Nito and the quickness. He must have been sitting on something really slow because for an 84 mile an hour slider to blow right by you. The 2-2. Lefty, righty, runner at second. 1 out. The pitch. Down and in, 3-2. Thing about the Angels, remember, they traded their closer to Philadelphia. So they're kind of piecing it together down the stretch. So the Braves may be able to score some runs, but Dylan Lee's got to hold them right here. The payoff pitch. Kicks and fires. Caught, looking, strike 3. 94 on the inner black. He knew it. He spun around, cursing many of folks as he heads back to the dugout, 2 away. Two down. Shanwell, the left-handed hitter, is coming up to the plate, and for some reason, Murphy's going out there to talk to Lee, and Abreu. I guess they're going with the game plan. Maybe it's to pitch around him to get to the rookie. That rookie, though, even though he's over, he's got some pretty impressive numbers down on the farm. As they say, don't be effing around and finding out, oh, my goodness, Luke Jackson's warming up in the bullpen. Buckle up, Braves country. Runner at second, 2 outs. Lefty, lefty. Lee brings it. 93. If that was framed a little better by Murphy, he gets the strike, but Murphy's sitting up on the outside part of the plate. That hit down the middle, just a touch low, but because he set so far outside, that's just a bad frame by Murphy. The 1-0, right there on the outer edge, 1-1. If he would line himself up a little more to the inside, you actually block the view of the umpire a little bit, and you're going to get more calls. But Murphy has got his knee down almost in the batter's box of the right hand. It is in the batter's box of the right-hand side. The 1-1, 94. He's not getting that call either. It's just bad framing by Murphy. We were sold that bill of goods last year about how he was going to be just phenomenal. Framing, his pop time from home to second. None of it's true. The 2-1, swung on, chopped foul down the line, 2-2. So a 2-2 count. He's not a terrible catcher, don't get me wrong, but he's also not elite like we were sold. We were sold a bill of goods that it was okay to trade Contreras because his defense was going to be so elite. And that just hasn't been the case. And that's what drives Braves fans nuts, is because you realize what kind of offense you could have with Contreras behind the plate. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good pitch by Lee. That'll end the inning. So we flirted with danger, but we'll come back. Arcia leads us off. Top of the 8th we go, trailing by just 1.
Congratulations! You got on my nerves again today.
Okay, so here are 3 things that I think only America does. Now, the Red Cups are definitely an American thing. I've never ever seen them in the UK. I don't think they exist. When you're in America, they're in every bar, every home, every house party. They'll have Red Cups. Number 2, wearing footwear indoors. Now, I've been to a few American homes and they're completely fine with you wearing shoes inside. I don't know if this is just something in the UK we do, but we always take our shoes off before we enter the building. It surprises me every time. I mean, I still take my shoes off. It's just a habit. The last thing that I think only America does has to be taking your bank card from you. When you're paying for a meal, they will take your card away, run off somewhere in the back, put the price in, and then return with your card and a receipt. And you just kind of have to pray that they haven't added on an extra $100. We are taught back in England to never give your card to anyone. So this is something I think only America does.
Cheese dogs. Cheese dogs. That's what we have. You mean hot dogs? No, they don't want them. What is a cheese dog? I've never heard of a cheese dog.
The greatest home run hitter of all time, Hank Aaron, opens trading today at the New York Stock Exchange. And the market promptly hits a home run for investors. The Dow now up 23% for the year. NASDAQ, with all its tech stocks, up an astonishing 71% for the year.
Welcome back. Man, I'll tell you what, when you watch the Angels play, man, you see some names you have not seen in a long time. Matt Moore is coming on. I did not know he was still in the league. I knew he was with the Angels at the beginning, but I did not know he was still hanging around. I hadn't heard his name in so long. Matt Moore, 46 innings this year. The left-hander brings it. First pitch up top to Arcia. Is outside high and wide. It's 1-0. Yes, that Matt Moore, the one that started with the Tampa Bay Rays about 15 years ago. The 1-0, up high and wide, 2-0. The left-hander stands in with the 4.82 ERA and a 1.31 whip. The 2-0 pitch, down and away, 3-0. At one point, Matt Moore, when he was with Tampa, there was a small sliver where he was being looked upon as one of the better left-handed starters in the American League. He transitioned to the bullpen a handful of years ago, the 3-0. Inside, ball 4. So you know you're not hitting the zone. Orlando Arcia takes 4-pitch walk. He'll head to first. Man, this is really when you wish you still had Zach Short on the roster. Could have put him in. You could, in theory, run Luke Williams here, but I don't think they will. Adam Duvall will step in with the left-hander on the mound. They don't want Kelenic to have to face him. So buckle up tight here. We need to get the lead because if not, you're going to see some Luke Jackson action in the bottom of the 8th, trailing by a run. Duvall stands in with a 178 average, 10 home runs, the first pitch. Swing, fouls it straight back. It's 0-1. Guy just threw 4 consecutive balls, and Adam Duvall swings at the first pitch that he sees, and that pitch may have been on the zone, but it may have not. You got to make him throw a strike. That's just unacceptable for a veteran to be doing that. The 0-1, there's a right-hander warming up in the Angels bullpen. The 0-1 pops it up, giving away another at bat. I mean, at this point, what in the world is Adam Duvall doing on this team? He's an automatic out. And I love Duvall, man. He did a lot for us in 2021, but he is not it. And the idea of pinch hitting him anymore is kind of, I mean, at this point, you almost put him in for defensive replacement. I would have liked to have seen Travis d'Arnaud there pinch hitting. Solaire's not available, so you can't do that. First pitch on the way. Swing and a miss to Laureano. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Another one on the outer edge. Swing and a miss, 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Standing on deck is Merrifield. Harris in the hole. Runner at first, 1 out. Laureano takes his time out. The 0-2. Moore comes set. In the dirt, 1-2. Ball gets kind of rattles around, but with Arcia being the runner at first, that ball would really have to get away for him to advance. Laureano grounded out earlier, popped out, hit into a double play his last time up. The 1-2, outside wide, 2-2. One swing could change this game in a hurry. Braves trailed by 1, runner at first, 1 out. Orlando Arcia inching off of first. The left-hander Moore lifts his glove. Brings it. Swing, that ball's hit into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. A lot of top spin on that one. Kind of hit the ball over, but it was able to loop it over the infield and right in front of the left fielder out there, Taylor Ward. The Braves got runners on first and second, 1 out. Whit Merrifield, your batter. Merrifield walked in the third, had a fielder's choice in the fourth, and struck out looking. They're going to pinch run for Laureano. So I guess the play would be here. Or is he just going to the... he may just be going to the dugout to get something to drink. They haven't officially named Laureano coming out of the game, so he may not be. They're going to make a pitching change. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
I don't have no friends because I like to be in bed. I'm for the sheets, not the streets, baby.
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, would you mind doing me a favor and putting on your mask? That'd be awesome, man.
Why are you in my car?
Are you an Uber?
No, but you're gonna go with me now.
No, wait a minute, Jesus!
Listen, if you and I are ever on the phone and you hear me say some dumb like, hey man, I'm gonna call you right back. When you hang up that phone, just go on about your day. Don't sit around holding your breath waiting on me to call you back, because you'll turn every color of the rainbow right before you meet your maker. I'm not playing. You think it's a game? The best time to call my phone is text message.
It's hard to compare errors now, but I also think that balls are go a little farther. I won't say juice. Most of the parks are smaller, but players today are bigger and stronger than before.
The ball may be juiced and some of the players may be juiced.
I was trying in a general sense to call attention to the fact that this stuff just doesn't make sense. And this was the part that I found especially galling. People throughout baseball who pride themselves on knowing the difference between the split second it took Bill Mazeroski to turn a double play as opposed to the average second baseman, who pride themselves on knowing when a guy's arm angle comes down ever so slightly because he's fatigued in the late innings, who notice if a guy has moved half a step in or half a step back at third base. They didn't notice a damn thing when guys showed up looking like they'd been inflated with bicycle pumps.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. So it looks like they have not pulled a double switch. Laureano was just going to the dugout to get a drink of water. Right-hander comes on. Man, I haven't heard this name in a while. Ben Joyce played his college ball for University of Tennessee. He was a third-round draft pick. He was a flamethrower in college. Twin brother of Zach Joyce, who also is a ball player. Righty-righty matchup. First pitch on the way. Is a slider on the outer edge for a strike. It's 0-1. Had an injury, and I believe that I read that he had to change his mechanics a little bit. We'll see what he brings. The 0-1. Swing. Chops it over to third. It's going to be a 5-4-3 inning-ending, rally-killing double play. Good Lord. We'll be back in a flash. To the bottom of the eighth we go, trailing by just one.
You know why no one's loyal and everybody talks? Because people need to get punched in the mouth again. It's crazy how a good punch to the mouth will adjust somebody's attitude.
Look at that baby there with all them big kids. Baby can't talk. Some babies can talk. Okay, up, come on, sit down. Up, come on, sit down. Where did you learn that at? From school. From the TV too. Stand up, turn around, sit down. You learned that from school. Uh-huh, me too. Who told you that? Did the TV tell you that?
In May of 2002, Jose Canseco, who would later claim that without steroids, he would have never even made it to the major leagues, retired from baseball with 462 home runs. He told the press that 85% of major leaguers were taking steroids. There would be no baseball left, Canseco insisted, if we drug tested everyone, but hardly anyone took his claims seriously. Then, a few weeks later, Sports Illustrated published a cover story by Tom Verducci, which described players taking a wide range of performance-enhancing drugs. In the article, former Padres third baseman Ken Caminiti confessed that he had taken heavy doses of steroids for years, beginning in 1996, when he had been named the National League's most valuable player.
And what really struck me was, first of all, the responsibility that he took for his own career, but also the fact that he had no remorse whatsoever. And that's when it really hit home to me that it was so pervasive in the game that given the choice, he would do it again.
Adam Duvall will come on to play left field. So you got Duvall in left, Laureano in right, Michael Harris the second in center. Luke Jackson's going to come on, so buckle up, Braves fans. First pitch on the way from Jackson is right there for a strike to Cavadas, the rookie. It's 0-1. Cavadas 0 for 2 on the day. Righty-lefty, the 0-1. Slider in the dirt, nowhere near the zone, 1-1. Still on the bench for the Braves, Luke Williams and Travis d'Arnaud. In theory, Jorge Soler, but I just don't think they'll put him in the game. The 1-1, down and in, 2-1. Only way I could see that is if there was a situation where, like, bases loaded, 2 outs, and the winning run is standing at third. But then what happens if he doesn't come through? Then where do you put him in the defensive outfield? The 3-1 right there for a strike, 3-2. If for some reason they pinch hit pinch run D'Arnaud, or excuse me, Williams for someone, and then but I just assume that Soler is not going to be in the game. The 3-2 caught looking right there at the knees, 1 away. You just got to assume that if they're not willing to let him play because of a hamstring strain, they're not going to want him to get up there and swing and then maybe have to take off out of the box, because even if you tell him to take it easy, human nature is going to be try to become safe, and then next thing you know, he's ripped it. The 1-0 count to Ohapi, who's 1 for 3 with a home run. Swing, fouls it away. 1-1. In theory, if you wanted to put him in, you could, and you did have to go back out there to the field. The game was tied or whatever. You could put a pitcher into the outfield, but the only one that I know that has that kind of range is Max Fried years ago, but I don't think they're going to put Max Fried in the outfield. So a 1-2 count to Ohapi as he fouls back the last pitch. It smacks up against the screen. 1 out, bottom of the 8th. The 1-2 in the dirt, curveball, misses 2-2. The problem with Luke Jackson's breaking stuff, when it misses really badly. So it's very easy to lay off. And when he got hammered out in Colorado, he was leaving fastballs up in the zone. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good curveball, 2 away. So back to the Ian Anderson thing I was talking about last night. I'd only seen it in passing. I went back and looked at his stats and actually watched a little bit of the video. Ian Anderson went 6 innings of no-run ball. I believe it was 7 strikeouts. So we definitely are expecting to see him in the near future. I said it before, man. I would like to see them bring him up, expand the bullpen, and let Charlie Morton go to the bullpen. There is a timeout here. Home plate umpire Charlie Ramos, and third base umpire James Hoy. And they're converging with first base umpire John Lipka. I believe Lipka is the crew chief. I don't know what they're doing, but they're pointing back and forth. And they're pointing at the batter, trying to figure out what's going on here. I think they're saying there's a violation on the hitter, Drury. But usually there's not this big of a powwow about it. Well, the pitch clock had expired, so that easily could have been a ball on Jackson. As they showed the pitch clock in the background, but maybe the pitch clock, I don't know, maybe the pitch clock was screwed up. First actual pitch on the way from Jackson is outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Doesn't appear they gave him that automatic ball, the 1-0. Chopped over to short, isn't going to matter because RC has got it, fires across the infield, and that'll end the inning. Braves trail by 1. We'll see what we can do. In the back end of this bullpen, the top of the order is coming up. Harris, Riley, and Ozuna on the way.
Diabolical. Call the police. This has got to be illegal. Listen, oatmeal, cereal, bacon and eggs, biscuits and gravy. These are breakfast foods, okay? Don't you ever hand me a hot dog at 6 o'clock in the morning talking about, you want breakfast? Because I will feed you a knuckle sandwich for your breakfast, okay? I will punch you in your chest.
For those out there that wanted to know, I'm going to go ahead and address that.
I'd love to hear it.
Tyler Matzik was throwing 1,000 miles an hour. He was throwing rise balls at 1,000, and he was throwing it right down the middle, and nobody could hit it.
Never seen it like that. It was unbelievable.
Look, listen, I tried, y'all.
Yeah, I remember you struck out, you hit your bat.
Yeah, you know what's coming. Fastball. That's what it's doing. And he was letting that thing rip, man, and it was coming in hot.
You're a rapper. You're mediocre. You're nobody. Rappers are nobodies. You didn't know that? They don't write they. You don't make your beat. You look at a phone.
They came to an agreement about a drug testing policy that had so many holes in it that there was no way a player, unless he is just dumb as a rock, was going to fail under the guidelines that they set forth.
And that's been the question. Is it possible to have a renaissance and a calamity at the same time? It all depends on what your barometer is. What is your measure? If your measure is money, and only money, then yeah, it was possible because people in this game made more money than ever. But if your barometer is something more than that, if your barometer is integrity, is in having people look at you and believing in your sport, not just going to the games, but believing in your sport, then it's not possible.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Looks like Joyce is going to be on to close the game. First pitch on the way. The 86-mile-an-hour slider down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. We need to have an end-of-the-season awards for Braves Country in here. I'll tell you what, Margaret is by far the most positive fan we have on here, man. I love seeing Marguerite in the chat. She's always rooting everyone on. She's never gloom and doom. The 1-0 is right down the pipe for a strike, 1-1. The 1-1, swing and a miss, 102 miles an hour, 1-2. So I told you he was a fireballer in high school. I thought he was. I mean, in college. We didn't see it in that first out against Merrifield, but man, can he bring it. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. 103 miles an hour. Harris had no shot in that at bat. He got schooled one away. Man, oh man alive. Hope everyone else was paying attention to that standing on deck, man. That guy's got some gas. Holy crap. First pitch on the way to Riley is outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Now, the good thing is if Riley or Ozuna or Matt Olson gets into one, that ball's going to shatter the atmosphere. The 1-0 inside 96. That was his off-speed pitch, 2-0. So a 2-0 count. Righty. The pitch. Swing. Fouls it back. 103 miles an hour. Man, is this kid bringing it. When I saw him throw those two 86-mile-an-hour pitches to start the at-bat with Merrifield, I thought maybe he just abandoned it. But, man, he can still bring it. The 2-1. Swing. That ball's blasted high and deep, but not deep enough. Is it going to stay in the fair? It will for a loud out number 2. Just got underneath that. That was his off-speed pitch, and Riley got around on it, but just got underneath it 2 away. So 2 down, and if there's a guy that can catch up with 103 and shoot it over the moon to tie this game, he is standing at home plate. The Big Bear dances in. First pitch, 104 miles an hour. High and out of the zone, it's 1-0. Wow. I don't think I've seen this live since, remember when Chapman first came up. The 1-0, swing and a miss over the top, 1-1. Chapman first came up with the Reds and was bringing it with 105, I think it was at one point. Reds have had a couple of guys that have really touched up in triple digits. The 1-1, swing, fisted into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit, and we'll see what we can do here. I would say they're going to bring Luke Williams on to pinch run for Ozuna now. Let's see what happens here. Yep, that's exactly what's going to go down. Ozuna, great job of fisting that one off. Came inside, but he was strong enough to get it over the infield. Big Matt Olson represents the go-ahead run. Luke Williams is on first, representing the tying run. If you can get one down in the gap, we'll have this baby tied. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch on the way. Swung on, chops it over to first. That's going to end the game. Joyce is going to get the delivery from the first baseman. Chanel, he steps on the bag, and that'll end the inning. Just got over the top of that. Man, oh man alive. Braves lose a tough one, 3-2. Go over the numbers real quick. This was the one game of the series that I thought this was our biggest chance to losing this series. And you got to just tip your cap to the Los Angeles Angels bullpen, a bullpen that's kind of middle of the road. They're down at the bottom of the pack of the American League, but they came in, and after the 2 earned runs that were given up by Soriano, they came in and fired 5 2/3 innings of 5 2/3 innings of shutout baseball to beat the Atlanta Braves 3-2. Schwellenbach will get his 6th loss of the year. He didn't pitch that poorly. He gave up 3 earned runs, 5 innings. The bullpen was spotless, giving up no earned runs in 3 innings of work. But the damage was done, and they could never get back on the board. Great defensive play by Riley really highlighted the game. And Atlanta, once again, with a chance to put more runs on the board early in the game, you got to come through because you never know what the rest of the game is going to bring you. We'll be back tomorrow night, Braves Country. I'm exhausted. Thank God we've only got one more of these midnight specials. It's tomorrow night. It's Chris Sale night. When the conductor's on the mound, everyone's got a little more juice. We'll see you tomorrow night, Braves Country. We still are top of the wild card standings. We'll be a game in front of the Mets tomorrow morning. We didn't lose any ground on the Padres and Diamondbacks. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Go Braves. Tough one tonight. Casey at the Bat by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2, but with 1 inning more to play. And when Cooney died at first, and Barrows did the same, a pall-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought, if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo, while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude grim, melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single, to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted, and men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It pounded on the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing, and a smile lit Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance flashed in Casey's eye, a sneer cooled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in a haughty grandeur there. Closed by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. "That ain't my style," said Casey. "Strike one," the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm waves on a stern and distant shore. "Kill him! Kill the umpire!" shouted someone on the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With the smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult, he bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the dun sphere flew. But Casey ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two!" "Fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and echoed answered, "Fraud!" But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain. And they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball. And now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in the favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Casey at the Bat, Ernest Lawrence Thayer, published June 3rd, 1888. San Francisco Examiner.
You're in Braves country.